During the college entrance exam, I was writing furiously, thinking I had completed the last question. But in the final minute, I flipped my left fringe. To my shock, I found the entire left half of my answer sheet blank. Just as I was overwhelmed with despair, a celestial voice suddenly echoed from the sky. "The sect is in trouble, we beseech the ancestors for aid." Following that, a 9-headed dragon lion pulled a giant bronze coffin, slowly emerging from a crack in the sky. While everyone was in utter shock, I looked up and laughed heartily. All because I had spent 2.5 years playing a casual game intensely. In the game, I ascended from a mortal to the supreme immortal emperor, dominating the world. The Qingxi Immortal sect I founded was acclaimed as the #1 sect in the immortal realm. But to focus on the upcoming college entrance exam, I decided to temporarily quit the game. And I left a bold message: if the sect faces a life and death crisis in the future, come to Blue Star and find me. At this moment, the crack in the sky suddenly widened, golden light illuminating my school. Simultaneously, a high-pitched dragon's roar echoed, and 9 gigantic dragon lions dragged a massive bronze coffin, emerging from the crack in the sky. In that instant, all living beings on Blue Star were suppressed by a terrifying force. Only I remained calm and composed. A dragon. There's a dragon in the sky? Damn, isn't this the 9 dragons pulling a coffin from the novel? Oh my god, it's the end of the world? Immortals, they are immortals, and the whole world was in turmoil. The sect is in trouble, we beseech the ancestors for aid. The pleading celestial voice echoed across Blue Star. Following that, immortal phantoms, only existing in myths, appeared in the sky, bowing towards a certain direction. I pondered for a long time. The immortal phantoms in the sky quietly awaited my response. Recalling the night I quit the game. NPC Qingxi Immortal Emperor's reluctant affection, and the #1 sect standing in the 9 heavens. I resolutely abandoned the exam. Then, I pointed to the sky, "This ancestor will go with you." Immediately, a golden beam of light descended from the sky, enveloping me. Witnessing this unbelievable scene, the female invigilator stood in shock, until I disappeared into the sky within the golden beam of light. The female invigilator finally came to her senses, muttering as she looked at the sky, "Student, it seems you haven't written your name on the answer sheet." Meanwhile, on the other side, the Qingxi Immortal sect, the leading sect of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain, had been breached by the Demon Clan. In the grand and majestic hall, disciples of the Qingxi Immortal sect were chained and kneeling on the ground. Seated on the throne was the Golden Cicada King, one of the 10 great demon kings. As a condition for retreat, he demanded the Empress of the Grand Huang dynasty to be his dual cultivation partner. Additionally, 2/3 of the Qingxi Immortal sect's fortune in the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain was to be given to the Demon Clan. To this, Chingi, the sect master of the Qingxi Immortal sect, not only did not oppose but gladly agreed. Some disciples who opposed were directly killed by a palm strike from Chingi. The Empress of the Grand Huang dynasty, looking at Chingi's actions, screamed hysterically, "Chingi, aren't you afraid of enraging the ancestors of the Qingxi Immortal sect?" Luo Yan's eyes turned red. In rage? Ha ha ha. Chingi laughed. If there were any ancestors of the Qingxi Immortal sect left, we wouldn't be in this situation. Luo Yang, accept your fate. At this moment, a muffled sound suddenly came from outside. A demon clan cultivator rushed in a panic. Reporting to the king, a crack just appeared in the sky. The leader sent me to report and ask for your decision. The Golden Cicada King pondered for a few seconds. Then stepped out in an instant, arriving outside the hall. At this moment, demon clan cultivators and captured human cultivators on the square outside were all looking up at the crack in the sky. The Golden Cicada King looked up at the crack, trying to see what was inside. But just as his gaze was about to enter the crack, his eyes suddenly felt a burning pain, causing temporary blindness. "What on earth is in there?" the Golden Cicada King muttered through gritted teeth. At this moment, the crack suddenly widened, and a high-pitched dragon roar echoed from inside. Then, 9 gigantic dragon lions pulling a massive bronze coffin flew out. Behind the 9 dragons pulling the coffin were hundreds of sword-wielding cultivators. 9 dragons pulling the coffin. Seeing this scene, the Golden Cicada King's eyes widened in disbelief. He knew about the existence of the 9 dragons pulling the coffin but never expected to see the legendary sight this way. These 9 gigantic dragon lions pulling the coffin were once mighty demon clan immortal kings of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain. Later, they were all killed by a human immortal emperor in a battle of epic proportions. Ultimately, they were forged into this immensely powerful treasure, the 9 dragons pulling the coffin. Seeing the 9 dragons pulling the coffin, all the demon clan cultivators present felt an oppressive force deep in their genes. After all, those pulling the coffin were their demon clan's 9 ancestors. "Everyone, I am late." Dressed in a blue robe and carrying a long sword on his back, Li Shenfeng looked at the devastated sect and sighed slightly. He was indeed late. It's Senior Brother Li is back. Oh my god, the 9 dragons pulling the coffin is the legendary supreme treasure of the Immortal Emperor? The human cultivators of the Qingxi Immortal sect, seeing the long-lost Li Shenfeng return, showed expressions of excitement. Especially since he brought back the legendary 9 dragons pulling the coffin. Disciple, weren't you already dead in the forbidden land of the sect? Qingxi exclaimed in surprise. Sorry to disappoint you, uncle. Not only am I not dead, but I also brought back the ancestors. Ancestors? What? This is impossible. Qingxi stood in shock. He had become the sect master of the Qingxi Immortal sect through treacherous means, by murdering Li Xianfeng. The previous sect master, Li Xuanfeng's master, was gravely injured in a battle against the demon clan. Before dying, he entrusted his junior brother Qingxi to assist Li Xianfeng. But Qingxi had long coveted the position of sect master. He schemed to trap Li Xianfeng in the forbidden land, declaring to the outside world that Li Xianfeng was in secluded meditation seeking revenge for his master. This way, Qingxi legitimately took over as sect master. But now, not only had Li Xianfeng returned alive, he also brought back the ancestors. Qingxi, the grievances between us will be settled after we suppress the demon clan, Li Xianfeng said coldly. Then he looked at everyone. Do you all remember the legend of our Qingxi Immortal sect? Senior brother means the words left by the ancestors before their transcendence? A disciple immediately reacted. Li Xianfeng nodded slightly. Yes, 10,000 years ago, before the White Emperor transcended, he left a message. If the Qingxi Immortal sect faces a life and death crisis in the future, go to Blue Heart and find him. Upon hearing this, both human and demon cultivators of the Qingxi Immortal sect were shocked. White Emperor? This is impossible, absolutely impossible, the Golden Cicada King retorted in a panicked tone. When the White Emperor ascended to the throne, their demon clan's immortal emperors were still playing with mud. Such a terrifying existence could not possibly reappear. Li Xianfeng ignored the Golden Cicada King's futile rage and approached the giant bronze coffin. He summoned a drop of his essence blood and smeared it on the bronze coffin. Suddenly, the wind started to howl and the clouds began to churn. Terrifying spiritual energy surged out from the bronze coffin, spreading tens of thousands of feet. An overwhelming pressure swept across the sky and land. Disciple Li Xianfeng of the Qingxi Immortal sect respectfully welcomes the ancestors. Li Xianfeng immediately knelt down with respect. At this moment, others followed suit and knelt down. Empress Luoyang of the Grand Huang dynasty respectfully welcomes the ancestors. Disciple Chen Han of the Xianyang sect respectfully welcomes the ancestors. Your Majesty, should our demon clan kneel? Whether it is the White Emperor or not, even if it is the White Emperor, I will not kneel, the Golden Cicada King said arrogantly. Little Demon of the Demon Clan respectfully welcomes the ancestors. The Golden Cicada King looked around in surprise, finding that his demon clan cultivators had already knelt down. Inside the bronze coffin, I felt the changes in my body and knew this wasn't a dream. The feeling of being able to traverse the heavens and look down on all beings had returned. On the day of the college entrance exam, you told me the sect was in trouble. How ridiculous. It seems I won't have the chance to experience a passionate love affair in college. I wonder if my parents will discover the 300 gigabytes of romance movies on my computer. I'll never see the 28-year-old beauty next door taking a shower again. A slight regret flashed through my mind. With a bang, I raised my hand and lifted the lid of the bronze coffin. The pressure of the Immortal Emperor instantly surged into the sky. I stepped out of the bronze coffin. Greetings to the ancestors. The cultivators immediately knelt and kowtowed, shouting loudly. I was barefoot, dressed in white, with long hair as white as snow, a golden Dao pattern on my forehead, and a heroic, unrestrained appearance. I took a deep breath of the air in this immortal cultivation world, feeling a surge of emotions. I never expected the game of kings to become a reality. I immediately glanced downward, frowning slightly. The once supreme Qingxi Immortal sect I founded was now in ruins. My gaze fell upon the Golden Cicada King, this demon clan's immortal king. The Golden Cicada King, feeling my gaze, was filled with a chilling sensation. The pressure casually released by the Immortal Emperor was terrifying. I spoke calmly, my majestic voice echoing between heaven and earth. How many years have passed, and yet you dared to invade my Qingxi Immortal sect? I felt a bit surprised in my heart. Back in the day, the Qingxi Immortal sect had 18 immortal kings. And 9 half-step immortal emperors. Such a powerful sect, even without me overseeing it, shouldn't be easily invaded by a mere demon clan. Ancestor, it has been almost 20,000 years since you suppressed the demon clan, Li Xianfeng respectfully replied. What? I just attended high school, and 2,000 years have passed in the game? My mind was full of complaints. Only 20,000 years, and a mere demon clan dares to attack my Qingxi Immortal sect? I sighed suddenly. Hearing the lament of the legendary White Emperor, the Golden Cicada King felt regret. Could 20,000 years really be just a blink of an eye for the White Emperor? How many years has this old monster lived? 1,000 years ago, humans crushed my demon clan's 10,000 demon nation. Now my demon clan tramples your sacred land, the Qingxi Immortal sect. What's wrong with that? The great way cycles, and humanity's fortune has ended. This era belongs to my demon clan. White Emperor, even if you try to turn the tide today, you cannot change the fate of humans being enslaved by my demon clan. The Golden Cicada King suppressed his inner fear, clenching his fists. So what if you are an immortal emperor? My demon clan still has 2 more. I, the Golden Cicada King, am the most outstanding talent in the demon clan for 5,000 years, surpassing even the 2 immortal emperors. Although I am only at the immortal king stage, I do not think I am inferior to you, White Emperor. I look down at this immortal king ant. In an era with an emperor, who dares to claim invincibility? A mere demon dares to boast in front of me, the emperor. Ignorant fool. I pointed my index finger downward. The Golden Cicada King had no chance to react. With a bang, his knees hit the ground, and the ground instantly cracked like a spider web with huge fissures. Below an immortal emperor, all are ants. The cultivators gasped. The Golden Cicada King was a peak immortal king demon, with mysterious and unpredictable powers. Not long ago, he had suppressed all the great cultivators of the human race by himself. Now, he couldn't even withstand a single finger of the White Emperor. The Golden Cicada King propped himself up with his hands on the ground, trembling all over. He gritted his teeth and roared in defiance, "You just attained the Tao earlier than me. If given enough time to reach the Immortal Emperor stage, you wouldn't be my match." I looked down calmly. Defeated enemies are never my opponents. I give you time to catch up, until you can't even see me. Everyone was stunned. Is this the most brilliant Immortal Emperor of the human race in tens of thousands of years? Such confidence. White Emperor. The Golden Cicada King roared in rage. Annoying, I said, slapping down with my palm. What? The Golden Cicada King was shocked. Was the White Emperor really going to kill him? Wasn't the White Emperor afraid of the retribution from the 2 demon clan immortal emperors? White Emperor, how dare you kill me? My sworn brother is. With a bang, the Golden Cicada King was instantly annihilated, both body and soul. Seeing this, everyone was momentarily in disbelief. A peak immortal king-level demon was just killed with a single slap. The king is dead, run. With the Golden Cicada King dead, the demon clan army lost its backbone and collapsed instantly, scattering in all directions. In an instant, the human cultivators launched a counterattack. However, at this moment, a gigantic and ferocious apparition suddenly appeared in the sky. The terrifying pressure emanating from the apparition made everyone halt, not daring to pursue the fleeing demon clan. The barbarian emperor glanced at the cracked ground where the Golden Cicada King was annihilated. His expression unchanged, he turned to look at me and said indifferently, "White Emperor, you killed my brother while my demon clan invaded your Qingxi Immortal sect. Let this matter be settled. The remaining demon clan members, I will take back to the 10,000 demon nation." Hearing this, everyone below was filled with indignation but didn't dare speak out. In this battle, tens of thousands of human cultivators were killed or injured, and their fortune was nearly taken away. Just like that? Do you recognize me? Who else but the legendary White Emperor could command the 9 dragons pulling the coffin? Although the White Emperor was from 10,000 years ago, the barbarian emperor, being an immortal emperor himself, was not afraid of him. "You know who I am, yet you dare to speak to me this way." I raised my hand and clenched it. The barbarian emperor's apparition instantly twisted, on the verge of shattering. The barbarian emperor was furious. "White Emperor, are you sure you want to do this? My demon clan has 2 immortal emperors. I advise you not to bring about your own destruction just after reappearing. As an immortal emperor, I will suppress all enemies in the world." The barbarian emperor's apparition shattered instantly. "White Emperor, if you dare to kill my clansmen, I will fight you to the death." With that, the apparition completely disappeared. 2 immortal emperors? I paused, then remembered a special mechanism in this game. Each faction could only have 1 immortal emperor. But how could the demon clan have 2 immortal emperors? Did the game's faction mechanism change? And humans, the race with the highest cultivation potential in this world. But why was there not even a single immortal king-level strong person? It seemed like something was off in this world. Seeing the change in my expression, the demon clan members below instantly relaxed. "Ah, brothers, let's return to the demon clan. So what if the humans have an immortal emperor? We still have to look at our demon clan's immortal emperor's face. Get out of the way, don't block Grandpa's path, you bunch of trash. Let's go, next time we'll come and take your people." The demon clan members began to leave the Qingxi Immortal sect with smug expressions. Damn it, these wretched beasts, what do we do? Are we just going to let these demon clan members leave so arrogantly? Accept it, they have 2 immortal emperors. The more we retreat, the more they push forward. The Empress of the Grand Huang dynasty, Luoyang, clenched her fists, her eyes filled with unwillingness. However, just as everyone was filled with grief and indignation, a grand voice suddenly echoed from the sky. "Did I say you could leave? The demon clan members, who were striding away, instantly stopped, feeling as if they were being stabbed in the back, their hearts uncontrollably filled with fear. It was the voice of the White Emperor. Ancestor, the human cultivators looked at me with excitement. As an immortal emperor, I will suppress all enemies in the world. The Empress of the Grand Huang dynasty, Luoyang, murmured in her heart, "What spirit, this is the protector of the human race in her heart. Ancestor, the demon clan has tormented us humans for too long. Please, Ancestor, kill them." A loud voice suddenly called out from the crowd. Everyone looked towards the voice, their eyes flashing with surprise. Because the one calling for the demon clan's extermination was none other than Qin Hui. Qin Hui. Luoyang frowned, sensing the strange looks from everyone. Qin Hui said righteously, "Why do you all look at me like that? Everything I did before was just a temporary measure to delay them." Qin Hui knew very well that if he didn't show some action now, he would be dead for sure. Most importantly, if the White Emperor killed these demon clan members, the two immortal emperors of the demon clan would definitely be enraged. Only by stirring up the situation would he have a chance to escape. A true immortal level demon from the Mink clan suppressed his fear and spoke to me, "White Emperor, our barbarian emperor has made it very clear. This matter is settled. Do you really want to have an endless war with our demon clan?" "Endless war," I sneered, "a mere true immortal, dare to threaten me? None of you demon clan ants will escape today." As I spoke, I raised my hand and summoned a huge black banner. The Immortal King's Soul Burial Banner. Instantly, a great wind howled, and terrifying pressure covered this world. The Immortal King's Soul Burial Banner, run! The demon clan fell into chaos once again. In every demon clan member's childhood, there was a nightmare about the Immortal King's Soul Burial Banner. 10,000 years ago, 9 peak immortal kings from the demon clan led an army of millions to invade the human race. With just a wave of the Immortal King's Soul Burial Banner, the million-strong demon clan army was swept into the banner, with none surviving. The Immortal King's Soul Burial Banner was a nightmare for the demon clan. The black smoke billowing from the banner buried the souls of millions of demon clan members. Black smoke poured out of the Immortal King's Soul Burial Banner, spreading towards the ground, and the 140,000 elite demon clan members were all absorbed and refined by the banner. "We won, we won!" All the human cultivators shouted excitedly. It had been a long time since the human race had achieved such a great victory against the demon clan. In the Grand Hall of the Qingxi Immortal Sect, I sat on the throne, with the core members of the various immortal sects of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain standing below. I glanced at everyone, sighing in my heart. Has the human race declined to such a degree? Not to mention immortal kings, even immortal lords are scarce. Ancestor, I, Luoyang, Empress of the Grand Huang dynasty, have something to report. Empress Luoyang, dressed in a red dragon robe, stepped forward and respectfully bowed. Qin Hui's face changed slightly at this sight. However, with the previous words about exterminating the demon clan, Qin Hui was not too panicked at the moment. Moreover, the human race was in need of people, and Qin Hui was one of the few immortal lords left among the human race. The White Emperor probably wouldn't kill him outright. The character of the Empress seemed interesting. I nodded slightly, "Speak." Previously, I had no interest in female NPCs in the game because it was just a game. But now, in reality, the existence of a female emperor indeed aroused a sense of conquest. "Thank you, Ancestor." Luoyang bowed again, then looked at Qin Hui and said loudly, "Ancestor, Sect Master Qin, as the leader of the immortal sects in the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain, not only did not resist when the demon clan invaded, but also intended to surrender our human race's fortune and submit to the demon clan." Surrender our human race's fortune? Hearing this, my brow furrowed slightly. Fortune was the foundation of any faction. If the fortune was lost, there would be no chance of recovery. "Ancestor, I'm innocent," Qin Hui immediately jumped out to plead. "I did so entirely as a temporary measure. The Golden Cicada King was a peak immortal king demon. No one among us could defeat him. If I didn't pretend to submit, we wouldn't have lasted until you arrived, Ancestor." Qin Hui's shamelessness was unexpected. "How did you know the Ancestor would appear?" At this moment, Li Xianfeng spoke, causing Qin Hui's face to stiffen suddenly, but he quickly reacted. This sect master sensed an anomaly in the ancestral land and knew that an ancestor would take action, so I used the strategy to buy time. I just didn't expect the one who came would be the ancestor. Li Xianfeng fell silent. Qin Hui's plot to seize the position of sect master was an internal matter of the Qin Immortal sect and couldn't be discussed here. "Ancestor, if this person is not removed, he will surely bring disaster to our human race," Luoyang spoke again. She then looked at the crowd. "You all saw what happened just now, say something." Everyone looked troubled, but no one was willing to step forward. Qin Hui was a grand immortal cultivator, and his words seemed reasonable. If the ancestor didn't punish Qin Hui, those who spoke against him would be in trouble. "Luoyang, stop slandering me," Qin Hui shouted angrily. "This sect master admits that proposing your marriage with the Golden Cicada King was a mistake. But there's no need to falsely accuse me. He then looked at me. Ancestor, I, Qingxi, have been diligent for decades. My loyalty to the human race is clear to heaven and earth. Please, Ancestor, see the truth and do not listen to slander. Luo Yang wanted to curse Qingxi's shamelessness but restrained herself, knowing she couldn't act out in front of the ancestor. What is your name? I asked. Qingxi was puzzled but respectfully answered, Descendant Qingxi. Everyone was confused about why the ancestor suddenly asked Qingxi's name. Qingxi, what a name, I smiled faintly. Of all names, why choose this one? It clearly marks you as a treacherous person. In my mind, I sentenced Qingxi to death. Hearing my praise, Qingxi smiled immediately, thank you, ancestor. Luo Yang and Li Xianfeng looked pale, thinking the ancestor had believed Qingxi's lies. Feeling confident he had gained the ancestor's trust, Qingxi felt secretly pleased. Killing him wouldn't be so easy. Just as he was about to accuse Luo Yang, he suddenly felt an overwhelming pressure on his back, forcing him to his knees. This sight shocked everyone in the hall. Ancestor, what have I done wrong? Qingxi was terrified, knowing it was the White Emperor's doing. Besides the White Emperor, who else in the hall could overpower a grand immortal cultivator like him? Luo Yang and Li Xianfeng were also shocked. The ancestor had just praised Qingxi's name. I stood up, my gaze sharp. I once said, not an inch of our land will be surrendered. Yet you dared to offer our human race's fortune to the demon clan, cutting off our path of cultivation. Ancestor, I'm innocent. Qingxi felt his guts were about to burst with fear, but he couldn't admit guilt. If the ancestor was testing him, admitting guilt would mean certain death. I raised my hand and forcibly extracted Qingxi's soul, holding it in my grasp. Ancestor, spare me. Ancestor, spare me. Qingxi's soul pleaded in panic. Annoying, I snorted. Qingxi's soul stiffened and became dazed. Did you intend to offer our human race's fortune to the demon clan? Qingxi's soul replied, yes. Why? The golden cicada king promised to spare my life if I did. As expected, my gaze darkened, and I crushed his soul into ashes. Luckily, I had retained my cultivation and strength, or else, given the human race's current state, I would have been sent to my death. Hearing my actions, although some were displeased, they could only kneel and shout in unison, Ancestor, please quell your anger. Since me and the Qingxi Immortal Emperor, no other Immortal Emperor had emerged in the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain. Then, I asked about the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. The human race faced such a catastrophe, why didn't the Qingxi Immortal Emperor appear? When I mentioned the Qingxi Immortal Emperor, everyone looked at each other with sorrowful expressions. I'm asking you a question. What are these expressions? A sense of foreboding rose in my heart. Luo Yang sighed, Ancestor, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor fell into the Xiangxian abyss 5,000 years ago. What? My heart ached. Qingxi died? Who killed her? I asked calmly, but my eyes were filled with killing intent, and a terrifying aura swirled around me, ready to explode at any moment. Alright, I'll wait for you to come back. This sentence suddenly appeared in my mind. Now that I was back, the one who waited was no longer there. Is this the regret of life? I don't accept it. It was the demon emperor of the devil clan, Li Xianfeng replied. Li Xianfeng, the personal disciple of the previous Qin immortal sect master and the next in line for the position, knew much more than the others present. Li Xianfeng then recounted the events leading to the Qingxi Immortal Emperor's fall 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, the devil clan suddenly appeared out of nowhere. A demon emperor led an army of 600,000 demons to invade the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain. Upon learning this, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor led human cultivators to the northern border to battle the devil clan. The Qingxi Immortal Emperor and the Demon Emperor fought dozens of times without a clear victor until one day. The Demon Emperor challenged the Qingxi Immortal Emperor to a duel in the Xiangxian Abyss. That battle was earth-shattering, and no one, neither human nor demon, dared to approach the Xiangxian Abyss. The battle lasted for several months. When both human and demon forces arrived at the Xiangxian Abyss, they found the Demon Emperor barely alive, but the Qingxi Immortal Emperor had left nothing behind except her sword. The Demon Emperor claimed that the Qingxi Immortal Emperor had died in the Xiangxian Abyss. At that time, 3 half-step immortal emperors from the human race searched the Xiangxian Abyss for a year but found no trace of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. After that battle, the Devil Clan, with the Demon Emperor severely injured, retreated from the northern border back to the Devil Clan's territory. Is Qingxi truly dead? I fell into silence, speechless for a long time. Li Xianfeng said, Ancestor, after the Qingxi Immortal Emperor fell, I asked several ancestors of the immortal sect to bring back the Qingxi Immortal Emperor's sword and built a cenotaph on Wangdi Mountain. If you wish to visit, Empress Luo Yang can guide you. I looked at the red-robed Empress Luo Yang. Luo Yang quickly bowed, Ancestor, Wangdi Mountain is within the Grand Huang dynasty that I govern. I understood. Then I looked at the crowd and asked, even if the human race has declined, there should still be at least one immortal king, right? Li Xianfeng replied, Ancestor, the human race still has 2 immortal kings, but they have been guarding the northern border against the devil clan. The demon clan's attack was too sudden. Additionally, Qin Hui's betrayal and collusion with the demon clan led to the fall of the northern emperor immortal domain. But I also bear some responsibility for this. Li Xianfeng knelt in shame. Had I not been fortunate enough to find the 9 dragons pulling the coffin in the sect's forbidden land and successfully unseal it, the human race would have faced utter destruction, and I would have been one of the culprits. You bear responsibility too? I asked in confusion. Li Xianfeng nodded. Had I not misjudged people and let that traitor seize the position of sect master, the northern emperor immortal domain wouldn't have suffered this disaster. However, this calamity turned out to be a blessing in disguise, allowing me to find the ancestor. Although the northern emperor immortal domain lacks an immortal emperor and has only 2 immortal kings at the northern border, every immortal sect has defensive formations. Centered around the Qingxi Immortal sect, once activated, even an immortal king would find it difficult to escape if trapped. If I had known it was such a mess, I wouldn't have come, I complained in my heart. The human race's fortune has declined, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor has fallen, and this world has become quite dull. If I hadn't entered this world, after the college entrance exam, I would have traveled and completely forgotten about this game. Perhaps the Qingxi Immortal Emperor wouldn't have become my regret. Hearing this, everyone nodded in agreement. Perhaps it was destiny. The human race indeed benefited from this disaster. If Li Xianfeng hadn't been imprisoned in the sect's forbidden land, and by coincidence found the White Emperor, the human race might not have survived this calamity. At this moment, Luo Yang suddenly asked, Ancestor, how should we deal with the demon clan next? As the Empress, Luo Yang naturally had a far-sighted and sharp vision. Although the human race had won a great victory, the crisis was not yet over. Upon hearing this, the faces of everyone in the hall became serious again. Indeed, how should we deal with the demon clan next? The demon clan had 2 immortal emperor powerhouses. The ancestor killed the golden cicada king and destroyed the 140,000 elite demon army, so the 2 immortal emperors of the demon clan would certainly not let this go easily. Although the human race won this battle, their losses were not much less than the demon clan's. Now, the devil clan was still eyeing us from outside the northern border. The human race was beset on all sides, with only me as an immortal emperor. Could the human race survive this calamity? Everyone felt uneasy, seeing their worried faces. I said calmly, from now on, the roles of offense and defense between the human race and the demon clan will switch. If they invade, so will we. The glory that belongs to our human race, I will lead you to reclaim. Everyone's blood boiled. What a bold statement. The backbone of the human race, crushed by the demon clan, was reborn. Empress Luo Yang stared at me in a daze, her eyes full of admiration. She couldn't help but think of the phrase, I am the immortal emperor, I will suppress all enemies in the world. Facing 2 immortal emperors, the ancestor was still so confident. Luo Yang couldn't imagine. 20,000 years ago, when the ancestor swept across all races, how magnificent it must have been. Li Xianfeng felt his blood boiling. As cultivators, this is how we should be. At this moment, all fear of the demon clan's immortal emperors vanished from Li Xianfeng's heart. Even if he were to die fighting alongside the ancestor in this life, he would do so willingly. Perhaps this was the power of faith. The human race's faith had returned. I then appointed Li Xianfeng as the sect master of the Qingxi Immortal sect, instructing him to reorganize the various immortal sections. The decisive battle between the human race and the demon clan would not be far off. Whether the Qingxi Immortal Emperor was dead or not, I had to try to find her or resurrect her. Life has more disappointments than successes. The Qingxi Immortal Emperor was the only person in this world I was connected to. The Sword Immortal platform of the 10,000 Demons Nation, the mysterious emperor was present, sitting quietly on a lotus seat, meditating. The mysterious emperor appeared as a 17 or 18-year-old youth, clad in a green robe, with eyes like bright moons, black hair draped over his shoulders, and a green sword mark on his forehead. The White Emperor has emerged, and you still have the leisure to sit here and meditate? The barbarian emperor stood beside him, frowning. The demon clan had suffered too much this time. The barbarian emperor's heart was still bleeding. The mysterious emperor spoke leisurely, you were lucky to escape with your life. One should always see things from a different perspective. Indeed, the barbarian emperor was fortunate to escape with his life. After the golden cicada king's life lamp extinguished, the barbarian emperor was furious and wanted to go to the Qingxi Immortal sect in person, but the mysterious emperor persuaded him. This led him to send only an apparition, otherwise, it wouldn't have been the apparition that was crushed but his true self. The barbarian emperor snorted coldly, still fearful. The White Emperor is indeed the most brilliant genius in the history of the human race. His strength is terrifying. Are you so afraid of the White Emperor? You and I are both immortal emperors, can't we defeat the White Emperor together? The barbarian emperor was dissatisfied. After all the effort to become an immortal emperor, being overshadowed by someone else was uncomfortable. Naturally, I'm afraid, the mysterious emperor said calmly. Hearing such words from the mysterious emperor, a madman who believed fate was in his own hands, surprised the barbarian emperor. The mysterious emperor, who saw all beings as ants, was afraid of the White Emperor. The mysterious emperor continued, or rather, cautious. The higher you stand, the harder you fall. You have experienced the terror of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. And this exceptional woman, even immortal emperors of that era were overshadowed by the White Emperor. There are differences even among immortal emperors. Together, we might have a chance to kill the White Emperor, but the price would be the death of one of us. With transcendence within reach, are you willing to stop here? The barbarian emperor was speechless, secretly admiring the mysterious emperor's insight. Without the mysterious emperor's reminder, he might not live long. As for transcendence, that was even further out of reach. But given the White Emperor's character, if we don't take the initiative, he won't let us go easily. The enmity between the demon and human races is irreconcilable, the barbarian emperor expressed his concern. No matter, the mysterious emperor smiled. Being afraid doesn't mean we can't kill him. Everything has its counter. The White Emperor is no exception. The barbarian emperor's heart lifted. You have a plan? The mysterious emperor nodded. We wait for the right moment. After delegating all affairs of the Northern Emperor immortal domain to Li Xianfeng, I went to the Grand Huang dynasty with Luoyang. In the blink of an eye, thousands of years had passed, and the only thing left of old friends was a lonely grave. If it were just a game, I might feel a bit regretful, but now it has become reality, and I can't help but feel melancholic. I didn't fly directly to Wangdi Mountain but walked with Luoyang. As soon as we arrived at the foot of the mountain, I noticed a giant statue standing on Wangdi Mountain. The Qingxi Emperor with her sword facing north, unparalleled in immortality. Seeing the ancestor stop and look at the statue of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor, Luoyang explained, Ancestor, this statue of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor was carved based on her appearance in life. I gave her an inquiring look. Luoyang explained, before going to the northern border for the decisive battle with the Devil Clan, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor lived on Wangdi Mountain. The name of this mountain was also given by the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. I heard from my great-grandfather that the Qingxi Immortal Emperor practiced her sword here every evening, then quietly looked north for thousands of years. But this was just what my great-grandfather saw. The actual time the Qingxi Immortal Emperor practiced her sword and looked north must have been even longer. She was indeed always waiting for me. What I said casually made her wait for over 15,000 years. I smiled, not knowing whether to feel joy or sorrow. As Luoyang and I climbed the steps, I suddenly sighed. This place is still the same as before, except now there's a statue, a lonely grave, and unanswered longing. I didn't say the last sentence out loud. Luoyang was surprised. Ancestor, have you been here before? I was silent for a moment, then said faintly, perhaps I have. Luoyang was bewildered. These powerful beings always speak in riddles. You've either been here or you haven't. What does perhaps mean? Seeing Luoyang's confusion, I didn't explain. I said perhaps because I wished I hadn't been here. If I hadn't, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor might not have fallen into that Sangshan abyss. With her talent, if I hadn't said those words, hadn't given her false hope, she might have transcended long ago. 20,000 years ago, it was here that I bid farewell to the Qingxi Immortal Emperor and went north. I never thought my uncertain response would make her wait so long. Will we meet again? Perhaps. It seems that dream during the college entrance exam was for me to atone. Ancestor, I have a question. Luoyang hesitated. Was the Qingxi Immortal Emperor waiting for you when she practiced her sword and looked north? Luoyang believed that the Qingxi Immortal Emperor, who had perfected her swordsmanship and reached the peak of the Immortal Emperor realm, would only have been waiting for transcendence, not improvement. But strangely, she practiced her sword there for thousands of years. So Luoyang guessed that the Qingxi Immortal Emperor wasn't practicing but performing a sword dance, waiting for someone. I glanced at Luoyang but didn't answer her question. The ancestor didn't want to talk about it, and naturally, Luoyang didn't dare to ask further, but she already had an answer in her heart. Just then, a group of people suddenly ran down the mountain in a panic. Upon seeing me and Luoyang, one of them hurriedly knelt and saluted, Greetings, ancestor. Greetings, your majesty. Before arriving at Wangdi Mountain, Luoyang had already arranged everything. So, the guardians here naturally knew that the man in white beside Luoyang was the ancestor of the human race. What has you in such a panic? Luoyang questioned. This is the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. Even the two immortal emperors of the demon clan must show respect. Who dares to cause trouble here? The guardian quickly replied, reporting to your majesty, the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor suddenly started to tremble violently for some unknown reason. We feared something was wrong and came to report. The cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor is trembling? My expression changed, and I instantly transformed into a golden streak of light, leaping towards the mountain top. Ancestor! Luo Yang's heart sank. She quickly followed. The cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor had been intact for thousands of years. Why was there a problem now? Hold on, no matter what, the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor must not have any issues. Brother, my power is running out. Hold on, even if it costs our lives, we must hold on. Her Majesty should arrive soon. 4 peak stage cultivators were using a formation to suppress the anomaly in the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. Although they had only been suppressing it for less than a minute, they were already drenched in sweat. Their limbs began to tremble uncontrollably. At this moment, a man in white with white hair suddenly appeared above. The moment he appeared, the anomaly in the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor abruptly vanished, returning to calm. However, just as the 4 guardians were about to breathe a sigh of relief, the eerie force within the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor erupted once more, transforming into a white light that shot into the sky. Luo Yang arrived just then and saw a hole suddenly appear above the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. She panicked. The cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor is destroyed. Luo Yang felt a chill run through her and quickly knelt. We failed to protect the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. Please punish us, ancestor. The 4 peak stage cultivators, now extremely weak, also knelt hurriedly. Ancestor. They finally realized the man in white was the ancestor. They were terrified. As the guardians, they were responsible for the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor. If anything happened, they couldn't escape blame. Even if the ancestor killed them on the spot, they wouldn't dare complain. I ignored the crowd and looked at the white light in the sky. The light gave me an extremely familiar feeling. Come, I murmured. The next second, the white light in the sky seemed to be summoned, immediately changing direction and falling into my hand. It was a sword as white as the bright moon. Even after countless years, the sword still emanated a terrible sword intent and righteous energy. 2 inches below the hilt, the name by Yuan was inscribed. My sword. The supreme imperial weapon by Yuan. When I left, I entrusted this sword to the Qingxi Immortal Emperor, sealing a deadly strike within it. Unsealing it would release enough sword energy to kill a mid-stage immortal emperor. What puzzled me was that the sword intent and righteous energy on the surface were still intact. This meant the seal hadn't been broken. Rise, this matter is unrelated to you. Hearing my words, Luo Yang and the others felt relieved and quickly thanked me. I then asked Luo Yang, was this sword buried in the cenotaph of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor? Luo Yang nodded, yes, this was the sword left by the Qingxi Immortal Emperor in the Xiangxian Abyss. I frowned upon hearing this. The fall of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor wasn't as simple as it seemed. The Qingxi Immortal Emperor became an immortal emperor 100 years after me, and back then, only the 2 of us were immortal emperors. When I left the game, neither the Devil Clan nor the Demon Clan had an immortal emperor. Given her early attainment and supreme talent in swordsmanship, she should have attempted transcendence long ago. In her battle with the Demon Emperor 5,000 years ago, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor had every advantage. With my killing strike supporting her, even if she lost, she wouldn't have died so mysteriously. Yet, the fact remains that she fell in the Xiangxian Abyss, without using the Bai Yuan sword I left her. No trace of her body was found. It all defied logic. This sword, named Bai Yuan, is my weapon. Luo Yang was astonished to learn that the sword belonged to the ancestor. For a moment, she didn't know what to say and just waited silently for the ancestor to continue. She knew he had more to say. When I gave the Bai Yuan sword to the Qingxi Immortal Emperor, I sealed a life-saving strike within it. Unsealing it would release enough sword energy to kill a mid-stage immortal emperor. But this seal remains unbroken. Hearing this, Luo Yang was utterly shocked. This sword, buried for 5,000 years, had the terrifying power to kill a mid-stage immortal emperor. More importantly, the power sealed within it hadn't been used. This meant the Qingxi Immortal Emperor didn't even have time to use the sword before she fell in the Xiangxian Abyss. Yet, with the strength of the Demon Emperor, such a feat was impossible. Luo Yang gasped, realizing she might have uncovered a shocking secret. 5,000 years ago. Luo Yang gasped, realizing she might have uncovered a shocking secret. 5,000 years ago, the death of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor wasn't as simple as being killed by the Demon Emperor. I asked, what more do you know about the fall of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor 5,000 years ago? Hearing my question, Luo Yang finally snapped out of her shock. Reporting to the ancestor, what I know is almost the same as what Sect Master Li knows. However, there is an ancient secret within our clan, but it's so old that I don't know if it's true. Taking a deep breath, Luo Yang continued without further ado, 5,000 years ago, there was an elder in our clan with decent sword talent. The Qingxi Immortal Emperor accepted him as a nominal disciple. After the Qingxi Immortal Emperor fell, this elder went alone to challenge the Demon Emperor of the Devil Clan. He returned gravely injured and spent years recovering in the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain. Suddenly, he went mad. Before he died, he mumbled to himself, "Master, you knew you would fall, why did you go? I didn't want you to see the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain in ruins upon your return." At that moment, Luo Yang had a rough idea of what this elder's words meant. The Qingxi Immortal Emperor was waiting for the White Emperor. But 5,000 years ago, something unexpected seemed to have happened. If she didn't go, the human race would have faced annihilation. To protect the human race, which the White Emperor once safeguarded, the Qingxi Immortal Emperor chose to perish. "Thank you," I said after hearing Luo Yang's words, my heart filled with mixed emotions. If what Luo Yang said was true, then the Qingxi Immortal Emperor died because of me. Luo Yang dared not look up, feeling fearful as the ancestor thanked her, something she couldn't even imagine. "Since your ancestor had some ties with Qingxi, there's no need to be so formal in front of me." "Thank you, ancestor. Come with me to the northern border." I waved my hand, and a blue-black space rift appeared in the air. The Northern Emperor Immortal Domain was vast, and the northern border's imperial pass was 60 million miles from the Grand Huang dynasty. Using the teleportation arrays would take at least half a month to reach, but my 9-turn void technique would only take 3 days. "Ancestor, are you going to the Devil Clan?" Luo Yang was shocked. The bottom of the Zhongxian abyss is filled with millennium-old ice. Qingxi has been lying there for so many years. Now that I'm back, there's no reason for her to continue lying there. My face remained calm. Luo Yang wanted to say that 3 half-step immortal emperors of the human race searched for a year and found nothing, but she held back. The ancestor wouldn't be at peace without searching personally. Moreover, this trip to the north was likely for settling scores with the Devil Clan and investigating the true cause of the Qingxi Immortal Emperor's fall. The desert stretched endlessly, yellow sand blowing in a barren land with nothing but rolling heat waves. This was the northern border of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain. In this vast yellow land stood the first stronghold of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain, the Imperial Pass. On the city wall stood a burly middle-aged man clad in white battle armor, covered in blood. Corpses piled up below the wall, and soldiers were cleaning up the battlefield. A bloody siege had just taken place, with flames still burning on the walls. In this battle, we lost 3,000 people, including 1,231 cultivators, and many warhorses and magical artifacts, a soldier reported to the king of the northern frontier, standing beside him. Sai, the king of the northern frontier, sighed deeply, his hands resting on the city wall. The Devil Clan's attacks are becoming fiercer. I don't know how long we can hold out. Urgent report from the Qingxi Immortal sect. A cultivator swiftly flew over, presenting a letter. Urgent report from the Qingxi Immortal sect. It seems the Demon Clan can't hold back any longer. But now, the northern border is struggling to defend itself. If one of the 2 immortal kings leaves, the Imperial Pass might not hold, he thought, frowning. The king of the northern frontier quickly opened the letter. After reading its contents, his expression changed dramatically. The treacherous Qin Hui. "I will flay you alive," he roared. The letter said that the Golden Cicada King led an army of 300,000. Breaching the Great Wall of Demon Suppression in just 10 days, penetrating deep into the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain, and many sects had been attacked. The northern border's 2 immortal kings were requested to return and assist Qin Hui. It said the Great Wall of Demon Suppression was breached in 10 days. This meant the letter was sent after the breach. The Qin Immortal sect was 10 days from the northern border. Calculating this, it had been 20 days since the Demon Clan launched their attack, yet the 2 immortal kings hadn't received any news. The Qin Immortal sect was likely already breached by the Demon Clan. What happened? The king of the southern frontier, Ninghan, approached, seeing the king's agitation, frowning as well. The king of the northern frontier gritted his teeth. 10 days ago, the Demon Clan breached the Great Wall of Demon Suppression. The Northern Emperor Immortal Domain is likely already fallen. Saying this, he felt deflated, his gaze becoming hollow. The Golden Cicada King was leading the Demon Clan. This demon was incredibly powerful, and even with their vast battle experience, they could barely hold their own against him. No other human cultivator could withstand even 3 moves from the Golden Cicada King. Without the Great Wall of Demon Suppression, how could the human race stop the Demon Clan's invasion? The Great Wall of Demon Suppression was breached? 10 days ago? Ninghan's face changed, hearing something seemingly impossible. 20,000 years ago, the White Emperor consolidated the human race's fortune. Established the Great Wall of Demon Suppression in the northern border, and established the Imperial Pass in the southern border. Building 2 great defensive structures against the Demon and Devil clans. These were the foundations of the human race's prosperity. Though the Demon and Devil clans frequently harassed the human borders in the last 20,000 years, they had never breached these 2 fortresses. But now, the Demon clan sent an immortal king, breaching the Great Wall of Demon Suppression, which stood for 20,000 years, in just 10 days. What were the hundreds of immortal sects led by the Qingxi Immortal sect doing? Did the demon clan really breach the Great Wall of Demon Suppression? Ninghan stared intently at the messenger, emanating a terrifying pressure. The cultivator was only at the foundation establishment stage. Being stared at by an immortal king, he immediately buckled under the pressure and knelt. Based on just one letter, Ninghan found it hard to believe that the Great Wall of Demon Suppression had been breached by the demon clan. He even suspected that this was a ploy by the devil clan to unsettle their troops. At this moment, the king of the northern frontier, Chen, also realized that he might have been too impulsive with just one letter. Whether it was true or false remained to be verified. King of the northern frontier, this concerns the survival of the human race. I wouldn't dare lie, the cultivator explained, his voice trembling. I left the Qingxi Immortal sect when the demon army was less than 100 miles away. Now, the sect is likely already fallen. The cultivator's voice trembled as he spoke. Whether it's true or not, I will decide. With that, Ninghan shot a beam of golden light from his brow into the cultivator's forehead. Ninghan intended to directly read the memories of the foundation establishment stage cultivator. Bodies and souls might lie, but memories would not. After a few moments, the golden light returned from the cultivator's forehead to Ninghan's body. How is it? Chunyang asked immediately. Ninghan looked at Chunyang in silence. What's the matter? Speak up. Chen Yang was on the verge of cursing. He didn't lie. Chen Yang fell silent for a long time, his anger turning to endless sorrow. The Great Wall of Demon Suppression, guarded by the Qingxi Immortal sect and hundreds of other immortal sects, had fallen. Heaven must be abandoning the human race. Report. At this moment, another cultivator rushed in from outside the city. He reported, 2 immortal kings, a great calamity. The devil clan has gathered an army of no less than 400,000 and is marching towards the Imperial Pass. 400,000 troops? Chen Yang and Ninghan looked out beyond the city walls to see a dust storm rising from the horizon. It seemed the devil clan had received the news. Ninghan clenched his fists. The devil clan had just gathered 100,000 troops to attack the Imperial Pass. The battle had only ended a few hours ago, and now they were mobilizing another 400,000. It seemed the devil clan intended to give them no respite. They wanted to breach the Imperial Pass in one fell swoop. Who is leading them? Chen Yang asked. There are 3 devil kings. The Blood Demon King is leading them. Chen Yang's expression turned grim. The devil clan had 4 devil kings, all at the Immortal King stage. The Blood Demon King was ranked 4th, but his strength was the greatest among them. 1,000 years ago, he led the devil army to attack the Imperial Pass and fought the former Qingxi Immortal sect leader for 7 days and nights. The battle ended in a draw. At that time, the Blood Demon King had just become an Immortal King, but the former Qingxi Immortal sect leader was already a seasoned Immortal King. This showed how terrifying the Blood Demon King's talent was. Since that battle, he had gone into seclusion. Now, 1,000 years later, no one knew how powerful the Blood Demon King had become. With the Great Wall of Demon Suppression breached and the Blood Demon King out of seclusion, the human race's prospects were dire. Ninghan looked towards the approaching devil army and sighed heavily. What's the matter, Brother Han? Are you scared? Chen Yang teased. Scared? Ninghan smiled. He had long forgotten what fear felt like. Do you remember the first time we came to the Imperial Pass? Of course, Chen Yang replied without hesitation. They had fought alongside the Qingxi Immortal Emperor to suppress the devil clan at the Imperial Pass. Back then, they were just insignificant Great Perfection stage cultivators. Ninghan, old friends have passed, and the human race's glory is fading into history. It seems it's our turn to follow them, Chen Yang said with a smile. Why speak so sadly? Dying in battle is our wish, isn't it? Ninghan laughed heartily and shouted, order the army to prepare for battle. Follow me to meet the enemy. We will not return unless we break the enemy forces. The resounding horn echoed from the city walls, and the entire Imperial Pass entered a state of combat readiness. An hour later, amidst the rolling yellow sands, the devil clan's army of 400,000 arrived at the Imperial Pass. It's been 1,000 years, Imperial Pass. I'm back. The Blood Demon King, riding a 6-eyed one-horned demon beast, looked at the city that had blocked the devil clan for over 20,000 years. His heart was filled with emotion. Today, he was determined to wash away the shame and remove the thorn in the devil clan's heart. 1,000 years and you haven't changed, Blood Demon King. I thought you'd hide in the devil clan forever. Chen Yang's mocking voice came from the city walls. The human defenders laughed heartily. The Blood Demon King was not angered by Chen Yang's taunts. He smirked, don't be so smug. Your Imperial Pass is just an isolated city now. Let's see how long you two can hold off my army. At this moment, the Flame Demon King, riding a demon beast engulfed in flames, emerged from the devil army. The Flame Demon King looked up at Chen Yang. Oh, great king of the northern frontier, you haven't told your soldiers, have you? The Great Wall of Demon Suppression in the southern Northern Emperor Immortal Domain has been breached by the Demon Clan. Even the Qingxi Immortal sect has fallen. Hearing the Flame Demon King's words, all the cultivators on the city wall turned to look at Shenyang. The Great Wall of Demon Suppression breached, and the Qingxi Immortal sect fallen? How could they not have heard of such news? The Flame Demon King laughed heartily and continued, "This pass has blocked my demon clan for over 20,000 years. I can't help but admire it, but unfortunately, today this grand pass will be trampled by my demon clan. The fortune of the human race has run out, you cannot stop our great demon clan." The defenders began to panic. If the Imperial Pass truly was an isolated city, then what was the point of their defense? If there was no one left to protect behind them, what were they fighting for? Great King of the Northern Frontier, is this demon speaking the truth? A bunch of fools. The demon clan is trying to shake our morale. The Great Wall of Demon Suppression is guarded by the Qingxi Immortal sect and hundreds of other sections. How could it be so easily breached by the demon clan? Someone shouted. That's right. If the Great Wall of Demon Suppression was breached, we would have heard something. He's telling the truth. The Great Wall of Demon Suppression has indeed been breached by the demon clan. A deathly silence fell. The defenders looked at Shenyang in disbelief, not because they were panicking but because they couldn't believe their ears. Did they hear wrong? The Great Wall of Demon Suppression breached by the demon clan? How was that possible? Did they hear wrong? The Great Wall of Demon Suppression breached by the demon clan? How was that possible? Even though there were no immortal kings guarding the Great Wall of Demon Suppression, the formation led by the Qingxi Immortal sect, combined with hundreds of other sects, could trap even a peak immortal king. Such a strong defense could only be breached if the two demon emperors personally intervened. How could it be breached? No, it's impossible. The Great Wall of Demon Suppression couldn't have been breached by the demon clan. The Great King of the Northern Frontier must be joking. The defense of the Imperial Pass was so strong that even if the pass fell, the Great Wall would stand. Great King, you must have received false information. For the first time in many years, the defenders doubted the words of the Great King of the Northern Frontier. This news was too shocking to believe. Great King, please tell everyone it's not true, a loyal follower urged Shenyang. If the Great Wall of Demon Suppression had truly fallen, it would be a huge blow to the defenders. If their base was taken, why continue to defend? Shenyang thought to himself, I wish it were false. Shenyang raised his voice, everyone, the Great Wall of Demon Suppression has indeed been breached by the demon clan. The Qingxi Immortal sect has fallen. As the demon said, the Imperial Pass is now an isolated city. We can't expect reinforcements, there will be none. Hundreds of sects couldn't hold it? We're doomed. The human race is doomed. The Northern Emperor Immortal Domain has been taken by the demon clan. What point is there in defending the Imperial Pass? Someone said. Morale plummeted. The Imperial Pass had become an isolated city. Win or lose, this battle had no meaning. Well done, third brother, the Blood Demon King praised. This battle might not be lost, but using the demon clan's breach of the Great Wall to demoralize the defenders would reduce the demon clan's casualties. The Flame Demon King sneered, these humans have relied on the Imperial Pass and the Great Wall of Demon Suppression for too long. Without them, they would have been slaughtered long ago. Now that the Great Wall is breached, the human race's fortune has run out. Let's see how they stop our warriors. The Flame Demon King turned to the Blood Demon King, fourth brother, I hear your ultimate demonic technique is almost perfected, just one step away. I'll leave these two immortal kings to you. Do you dare challenge me? The Blood Demon King coldly smiled, then nodded, thank you, third brother. On the city wall, Shenyang and Ninghan had anticipated the demon clan's tactics and didn't bother to explain. If they had refuted the demon's words, the defenders would have believed them without hesitation. But they couldn't do that. This battle might be their last. Shenyang and Ninghan didn't want these soldiers, who had defended the human race for so long, to die without understanding why. Ninghan sighed and addressed the defenders, everyone, I know this news is a heavy blow. But the truth is the truth. The Great Wall of Demon Suppression has been breached. The Northern Emperor Immortal Domain has fallen. The Imperial Pass is our last stand. Whether we win or lose this battle, we will likely die here. This pass was built by the White Emperor to deter the Demon Clan, guarded by the Qingxi Immortal Emperor at the cost of her life. It is the last backbone of our human race. I know many of you have given a lot to defend it. Many families have guarded it for 3 or 4 generations. Now, the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain has fallen. If anyone wishes to leave, I will not stop you. Ninghan's face grew stern, you have done enough for the human race. If you choose to leave now, you are not deserters. The defenders looked at each other, but no one moved. The last bastion of the human race, the last backbone. Is there meaning in defending the Imperial Pass? Perhaps only future generations can judge. People may die, but faith never will. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, someone on the city wall laughed out loud. There may be cowards in the human race, but there are no cowards in the northern frontier Imperial Pass. If you want to breach the Imperial Pass today, you'll have to step over my dead body. There are no cowards at the northern frontier Imperial Pass. Though I fear death, I fear even more dying without killing enough demons, only to be ridiculed by my fallen brothers in the underworld. With no home left, what use is my life? We swear to defend the Imperial Pass, never retreating a single step. The morale of the human race, which had been low, surged once again. Everyone dies, but some deaths are as light as a feather, while others are as heavy as Mount Tai. Even if we all fall in this battle, so what? In life, we are heroes, in death, we are honored spirits. Chen Yang glanced at the defending cultivators, then looked down at the demons and roared, "Everyone, follow me into battle." Chen Yang charged down the city wall. A giant axe appearing in his hand, and with a swing, he split the ground below, creating a deep trench. Demons fell and died along the path of the trench, which extended all the way to the Blood Demon King, where it finally stopped. Overestimating yourself, the Blood Demon King sneered, his demonic aura bursting out, forming a blood shadow that shot towards Chen Yang. Half-step Immortal Emperor? Chen Yang gasped, quickly retreating. The Blood Demon King had reached the terrifying realm of half-step Immortal Emperor after 1,000 years of seclusion. Under the Immortal Emperor, unmatched in the world. Fourth brother is actually a half-step Immortal Emperor? The Underworld Demon King and Flame Demon King were also shocked. They had thought their exceptionally talented fourth brother would reach the peak of Immortal King after 1,000 years of cultivation, but they hadn't expected him to reach half-step Immortal Emperor. Just then, a disdainful voice came from the city wall, followed by a terrifying pressure that enveloped the area. Ninghan rose into the air, lotus flowers blooming under his feet with each step. Everyone was astonished. Ninghan was also a half-step Immortal Emperor. False realm? The Blood Demon King stopped his pursuit of Chen Yang, focusing on Ninghan, the half-step Immortal Emperor who had suddenly appeared. Although it was a false realm, it still surprised the Blood Demon King. Only those who had reached half-step Immortal Emperor knew how terrifying it was. The Blood Demon King was certain that if he were not leading the army today, the Demon Clan would have no chance of breaching the Imperial Pass, and the Underworld Demon King and Flame Demon King might even fall here. False realm or not, a half-step Immortal Emperor is still a half-step Immortal Emperor, Ninghan said. The Blood Demon King's expression turned serious. This reckless human cultivator was right. Though he was a false realm, his half-step Immortal Emperor cultivation was real. The Blood Demon King spoke calmly, if you had more time, you might have become a true half-step Immortal Emperor. But unfortunately, fate has brought you to me. The Blood Demon King seemed confident in his strength. Ninghan's aura intensified, the sun behind him radiating bright light that enveloped the battlefield. The demons caught in the sunlight fell to their knees, wailing in pain. Under the sunlight, all impurities were purified. Though he was a half-step Immortal Emperor, the borrowed power was not his own. Behind the Blood Demon King appeared a towering demonic deity with 3 heads and 8 arms, its red face and fangs exuding a sinister aura. The demonic deity exhaled a black mist that turned into a cloud, blocking the sunlight and attacking the sun behind Ninghan. With a roar, the demonic deity's hand reached for Ninghan's sun, shattering it within seconds. Though both were half-step Immortal Emperors, there were differences in their power. Ninghan, whose sun was shattered, was forced back several hundred feet. The Blood Demon King spoke leisurely, show your trump card, or you won't get another chance. Excited to fight a half-step Immortal Emperor in his first battle after seclusion, even if the opponent was a false realm, the Blood Demon King felt exhilarated. Trump card? Ninghan's eyes turned cold as he stared at the Blood Demon King. At that moment, his half-emperor bloodline fully awakened. But the cost was more than he could bear. A nearby warrior asked the Northern Frontier King why the Blood Demon King called the Northern Frontier King a false half-step Immortal Emperor. Chen Yang replied that the reason was that after this battle, Ninghan's body would collapse from the strain of the half-step Immortal Emperor's power. Now, Ninghan forcibly revived his half-step Immortal Emperor bloodline, enhancing his abilities but at the cost of burning his life force. Seeing Ninghan's sudden surge in power, the Blood Demon King finally showed a hint of fear. You madman, aren't you afraid of death? Is death so frightening? Ninghan retorted. The Blood Demon King said, your talent is indeed terrifying. Given more time, you might have become an emperor. But unfortunately, fate has brought you to me. Why are you so tense? Weren't you the one who asked me to show my trump card? The Blood Demon King sneered, fine, let's see how long your life force lasts. Long enough to kill you. A massive black hole appeared behind Ninghan, swallowing both of them. This black hole was Ninghan's battlefield, created using his rules in the main world. Outside the Imperial Pass, human cultivators who had taken the initiative to attack were already battling the demon army. Though the Blood Demon King was drawn into another battlefield by Ninghan, the situation at the Imperial Pass hadn't changed much, but the human morale soared. They had a half-step Immortal Emperor on their side. Soldiers might fight for fame and fortune, but what drives them to willingly charge to their deaths is faith. Brother Han, you hit it well. Chen Yang looked towards the direction where the black hole disappeared, a bitter smile on his face, feelings mixed. A brother who had shared life and death with him had deceived him for so many years. Chen Yang wanted to punch him hard, but now he could only hope for his safe return. Chen Yang clenched his fist. The fear of the Blood Demon King dissipated, replaced by boundless battle intent. Chen Yang! A mocking voice called from ahead. The Flame Demon King and the Underworld Demon King flew over, looking down at Chen Yang. Chen Yang responded boldly, "Defeated General, what do you want from your grandpa?" Hearing the words, "Defeated General," the Flame Demon King's face twisted in rage. 100 years ago, the Flame Demon King had harassed the Imperial Pass and was severely beaten by Chen Yang. Chen Yang chased him from outside the Imperial Pass to the demon territory, causing him to flee in disgrace. Though the Flame Demon King later trained diligently and managed to fight Chen Yang to a draw, that incident remained a lifelong stain. Chen Yang, keep boasting. Soon, I'll twist your head off to use as a chamber pot, the Flame Demon King said through gritted teeth. Chen Yang sneered, looking at the Flame Demon King with contempt. A defeated general dares to speak so arrogantly? Do you dare to duel me? Duel? The Flame Demon King frowned, hesitating. He was impulsive but not foolish. He knew Chen Yang was strong, and in a life-or-death battle, he would likely die at Chen Yang's hands. Chen Yang, do you think I'm stupid? Taking your head now is as easy as picking something from a bag. Why would I duel you? Defeated general, so you're still a coward. Shut up. I am not your defeated general. Then do you dare to duel me? As you wish. The Flame Demon King's body ignited in flames, entering a frenzied state. Though the Flame Demon King wasn't foolish, he wasn't very smart either. Just as he was about to engage Chen Yang in a duel, a large hand pressed on his shoulder. Second brother, have you forgotten what our eldest brother told us? The Underworld Demon King's words immediately calmed the frenzied Flame Demon King. The Underworld Demon King stepped forward, speaking calmly, Northern Frontier King, I know what you're planning. You're trying to stall until they determine a victor. The Underworld Demon King's lips curled into a mocking smile. You don't think Ninghan's burning his life force will defeat my fourth brother, do you? Do you know about the extreme Dao Heavenly Demon technique of our demon clan? Second brother, the Flame Demon King was shocked, thinking his second brother revealing such a secret would get them into trouble with their eldest brother. It's fine, the Underworld Demon King said indifferently. Chen Yang is already a dead man walking. The Underworld Demon King didn't mind sharing demon secrets with him. His main goal was to crush Chen Yang's confidence. As the pinnacle of the Immortal King, killing Chen Yang would be costly without tactics. Now, human cultivators craved hope most, and the Underworld Demon King intended to extinguish it. Powerful enemies aren't scary, what's scary is having no hope. What nonsense about demon techniques. Stop shaking our army's morale. Even if the Blood Demon King is strong, how strong can he be? Chen Yang sneered, but deep down, a sense of foreboding grew. The Underworld Demon King's extreme Dao Heavenly Demon technique wasn't ordinary, otherwise, the Flame Demon King wouldn't have reacted so strongly. If you don't know, I'll tell you today, the Underworld Demon King laughed, continuing. This extreme Dao Heavenly Demon technique is our demon clan's strongest secret technique. Our Demon Emperor dared to battle Immortal Emperor Qingxi because of this technique. Cultivators of this technique can kill those of the same rank with ease. Entering the Immortal King realm allows one to kill peak Immortal Kings. My fourth brother is now a half-step Immortal Emperor. Do you think Ninghan's false half-step Immortal Emperor can shake my fourth brother? Isn't that wishful thinking? Extreme Dao Heavenly Demon technique kills those of the same rank? Chen Yang was stunned. If the Underworld Demon King was right, then the Blood Demon King's earlier apprehension was an act. Seeing Chen Yang's reaction, the Underworld Demon King laughed triumphantly, don't harbor any hope. Since Immortal Emperor Qingxi's death, your human race's extinction was destined. Fate is such, how can ants defy the heavens? No, that's impossible. Chen Yang stared intently at the Red Nether Demon King, you're just trying to scare me. Chen Yang knew the Red Nether Demon King was trying to affect his emotions. But when it involved Ninghan and the survival of their race, he couldn't control himself. The Red Nether Demon King laughed coldly, deliberately raising his voice. Northern King, is it me who's trying to scare you, or are you deceiving yourself? If Ninghan had the power to kill a half-step Celestial Emperor, why would your human race be in this situation? Chen Yang clenched his fist tightly. This damned Red Nether Demon King was trying to shake the morale of their troops. The human cultivators fighting the demons heard his words and couldn't help but feel a sense of despair. They were indeed fighting with the determination to die, but who wasn't afraid of death, especially after seeing a glimmer of hope that was instantly snuffed out by the enemy. The Red Nether Demon King's lips curled into a smile as he saw the human spirit on the battlefield gradually being suppressed by the demons. Everyone! Chen Yang's voice rang out, reverberating across the battlefield. I am a soldier, and you are soldiers too. Soldiers should die on the frontier, not wrapped in horsehide. General Ning will die, and I will die. The survival of our race rests on us today. Fight with all your might. Chen Yang looked back at the Imperial Pass. Seeing the fluttering flags, he paused for a few seconds, then raised his voice 100-fold, all troops, heed my command. Fight to the death. Kill. What? The Red Nether Demon King's face changed drastically. Chen Yang, this madman is abandoning the city to fight us to the death. Chen Yang, you lunatic. Masses of cultivators from the Imperial Pass surged out on their swords, men and women, young and old. At this moment, the entire city was mobilized. The Northern Emperor's territory had fallen, and they had nowhere else to go. Rather than becoming prisoners to the demons and the monsters, it was better to die gloriously outside the Imperial Pass. The Red Nether Demon King's eyes turned blood red. He hadn't expected that instead of demoralizing the humans, their resistance had become fiercer. Besides the soldiers, there are at least 20,000 civilians inside the city. How can you bear to let these people die here? The Red Nether Demon King stared at Chen Yang. I'd rather die in battle than live as a slave, Chen Yang retorted and charged at the two demon kings. At this moment, life and death no longer mattered. The sounds of battle and screams echoed across the endless desert. The fight continued for 2 days and nights. At dawn, the light pierced through the darkness, illuminating the Imperial Pass walls. The battle had ended. Outside the Imperial Pass, corpses were piled up like mountains, and the sand was stained red with blood. Of the 40,000 demon soldiers, less than 5,000 remained. Only one human remained. A child under 8 years old, who still gripped the flag atop the wall. Finally, we have conquered this tough bone of the Imperial Pass, the Red Nether Demon King exhaled deeply. Though exhausted, he couldn't hide his joy. Without the Imperial Pass, the demons could leave the endless desert and join forces with the monsters to split the human race's destiny. 2,000 years ago, the humans had produced two extraordinary celestial emperors, Bai Di and Qingxi. Their majesty was revered by all races. Second brother, I want to devour Chen Yang, the flaming demon king roared in fury beside him. Though they had seemingly had the upper hand, Chen Yang's desperate fighting style had resulted in the loss of one of the flaming demon king's arms. No, the Red Nether Demon King stopped him immediately. Second brother, what do you mean? The flaming demon king glared at him with hostility. Chen Yang had severed one of his arms. If he couldn't devour Chen Yang, how could he ever be satisfied? The Red Nether Demon King said irritably, didn't you promise to leave Ning Han and Chen Yang to fourth brother? If he comes out and finds that you devoured the Northern King, what do you think he will do? To put it nicely, it's called breaking a promise. To put it bluntly, it's called overstepping your bounds. Third brother, if you really want to devour the Northern King, I won't stop you, but you need to think it through. Fourth brother is now a half-step celestial emperor. If you offend him, your days in the demon clan won't be easy. The meaning behind the words of the Crimson Nether Demon King was already clear. The Blood Demon King had reached the terrifying level of a half-step immortal emperor after 1,000 years of seclusion, and his ultimate heaven demon art was about to reach perfection. If all went as expected, the Blood Demon King would become the second immortal emperor in their demon clan's history, while the Flame Demon King, at most, could only reach the peak of the Immortal King realm in his lifetime. Now, although he and the Blood Demon King called each other brothers, what about the future? In this world where strength reigns supreme, who could guarantee that the Flame Demon King would not face retribution for today's events? The Flame Demon King felt as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over him in his moment of fury, immediately calming him down. For a dead man, it would be a great loss to create a rift with a brother who had the potential to become an immortal emperor in the future. The Red Nether Demon King walked over, patted the Flame Demon King on the shoulder, and said lightly, fourth brother hasn't told us his realm, yet he still respects us as his elder brothers. Though we call each other brothers daily, you need to have a scale in your heart and know what should be done and what shouldn't be done. I understand, second brother, the Flaming Demon King reluctantly turned his head, accepting the facts. What should we do with the human child on the wall, a demon general asked. The Red Nether Demon King looked at the wall and saw the human child staring back at him without fear. This child must not be left alive. Kill him. The Red Nether Demon King ordered without hesitation. With both the suppressing demon Great Wall and the Imperial Pass breached, the defeat of the human race was certain. However, they could not afford to relax and must extinguish any chance of the human race making a comeback right in the cradle. Understood, the demon soldier responded, immediately turning toward the Imperial Pass wall. Just as the demon soldier was about to leap onto the Imperial Pass wall to behead the child guarding the human flag, a sudden storm arose, and the ground was filled with swirling yellow sand. A spatial rift appeared in the sky, catching the demon soldier off guard. Could it be the Blood Demon King returning? It seems the battle between the two half-step immortal emperors is over. The human half-step Immortal Emperor's self-sacrifice to delay the Blood Demon King still resulted in the same outcome. The demon soldiers watched the rift, discussing amongst themselves. The Red Nether Demon King also focused on the rift, concerned despite the Blood Demon King's great strength and near perfection of the ultimate heavenly demon art. After all, the Northern Guardian Ninghan's half-step Immortal Emperor bloodline could harbor unforeseen dangers. Soon, under the expectant gazes of the demon soldiers, a dazzling blue light flashed from the rift, revealing a man and a woman. The man, with white hair and clothes, looked remarkably handsome. The woman, clad in a grand red dragon robe, exuded an air of majesty and authority. Is that the Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty? The Red Nether Demon King muttered in shock. Second brother, do you recognize this human female cultivator? The Flame Demon King asked, puzzled. A greedy glint appeared in the Red Nether Demon King's eyes. I have seen her portrait. This Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty possesses an innate celestial vein, a rare and invaluable natural treasure. I thought she had fallen into the hands of the Golden Cicada King, but it seems she fled to the northern border. Truly, the heavens favor me. The Red Nether Demon King, a master of dual cultivation techniques, had long coveted the Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty but had never found an opportunity. Unexpectedly, today, she had delivered herself to him. Congratulations, second brother. The Flame Demon King, uninterested in women, congratulated him. The Red Nether Demon King nodded, his smile growing more smug. Dual cultivation with this Empress might just push him to the threshold of becoming a half-step Immortal Emperor. From the sky, I saw the battlefield littered with corpses, my expression changing slightly. Both the Imperial Pass and the suppressing Demon Great Wall were my creations, intended to shield the human race from demon and monster attacks in my absence. Yet here I returned to find a scene of carnage, a sea of blood and bodies. The Imperial Pass brought back many memories, most involving the celestial Empress Qingxi. She had vowed to defend the Imperial Pass with her life, a vow she fulfilled, dying at the buried immortal abyss outside the pass. She had promised to watch the desert sunset with me when I returned. Tragically, she never saw that sunset. The Imperial Pass has fallen? Luo Yang exclaimed, turning to me. I replied calmly, apart from the child guarding the flag, there are no survivors in the entire pass. Though I had walked the path of an emperor and grown accustomed to such scenes, it did not dampen my anger. These damned demons had slaughtered everyone in the pass. Despite being an empress, Luo Yang could not contain her emotions, overwhelmed by the massacre of tens of thousands of cultivators. The Imperial Pass housed the most resident cultivators in the Northern Emperor domain, surpassing even the suppressing Demon Great Wall in non-military resident cultivators. Many sought to temper their Dao hearts against the fierce demons. Who could have imagined such a stronghold would be utterly decimated? But wasn't he severely wounded in his battle with the celestial Empress Qingxi? The entire city's cultivators fought to the death, none surrendered. The Imperial Pass lived up to its name. You did well. Now, leave the rest to me. I muttered, surveying the battlefield. At that moment, a shadowy figure flew up and stopped 100 meters away. It was the Red Nether Demon King, his face filled with greed. This Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty is indeed a rare treasure. Seeing Luo Yang's unparalleled beauty up close, his lust burned even hotter, eager to claim her on the spot. Since the Golden Cicada King failed to seize this opportunity and sent her north, the Red Nether Demon King would relish this prize. The Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty was famed as the most beautiful woman in the Northern Emperor domain, and now he could confirm it was true. The Red Nether Demon King fixed a greedy gaze on Luo Yang, blatantly ignoring me beside her. The human race had only two immortal kings, both of whom had fallen at the Imperial Pass. How strong could any escapee from the fallen Northern Emperor domain be? Are you the Red Nether Demon King of the demon race? Luo Yang glared coldly at him, clenching her fists tightly. The demon's gaze filled her with disgust. As the Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty, Luo Yang, though responsible for guarding the southern region, knew a bit about the northern demons. She had heard of a demon king who specialized in dual cultivation techniques and delighted in tormenting human women. The look in this demon's eyes reminded her of that despicable Red Nether. Yes, it is I, the Red Nether Demon King. He was a bit surprised that the Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty recognized him. Shameless! Luo Yang cursed through gritted teeth. Instead of angering him, her insult made the Red Nether Demon King laugh. The more a woman hated him, the stronger his desire to conquer her. Capturing the Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty and making her beg for mercy by nightfall became his goal. Luo Yang, you've abandoned your people and fled to the Imperial Pass. You must want to live very much. I can give you that chance. Obey me, and I will ensure you live like a goddess every day. The Red Nether Demon King spoke with a playful smile. In his eyes, the moment the Empress of the Great Huang Dynasty appeared in the north, she was destined to become his means of advancing his cultivation. Hearing his words, the demon soldiers below laughed heartily. Furious, Luo Yang bit her lip and looked at me. Ancestor, Luo Yang requests to fight. I remained calm. What is your cultivation level? Peak Immortal Lord, she replied. The demons burst into laughter. Peak Immortal Lord? Ha ha, what a joke. The Red Nether Demon King, at the peak of the Immortal King realm, could kill a peak Immortal Lord as easily as squashing an ant. He too laughed at the two human clowns. On the bed, you might have a chance against me with your seductive bone structure and celestial vein. But this is the battlefield. You're a mere peak Immortal Lord. Don't embarrass yourself. The Red Nether Demon King taunted. Luo Yang's face turned ashen, unable to refute the truth that challenging an Immortal King peak was indeed beyond her capability. Destroy him within 3 moves, Luo Yang suddenly turned to me, incredulous at my bold claim. Destroy an Immortal King peak in 3 moves? Hearing my outrageous words, the Red Nether Demon King frowned. Has this white-robed human lost his mind? Not even a half-step Immortal Emperor could make such a boast against an Immortal King peak. How could this human? Come here, Luo Yang. She walked up to me, and I placed my hand on her head. A surge of primordial power flooded into her body. Immortal King, late Immortal King, peak Immortal King, half-step Immortal Emperor. Leave no demon alive. Luo Yang nodded and ascended into the air, her soul forces pressure engulfing the battlefield. How is this possible? The Red Nether Demon King's face twisted in shock. This oppressive force he had only felt from the Demon Emperor. What the hell? How did she go from peak Immortal Lord to this monstrous level just from a touch on the head? Is she even human? Under this terrifying pressure, the Red Nether Demon King's will to fight vanished and he fled. But Luo Yang wouldn't let him escape. I preferred you when you were defiant. She flashed before him and struck with lightning speed. With a loud bang, the Red Nether Demon King was sent hurtling to the ground like a cannonball, creating a deep crater and killing many demons caught in the shockwave. Such power? Luo Yang looked at her own fist, hardly believing it. The power given by the ancestor was indeed terrifying, capable of easily defeating an Immortal King peak. The Red Nether Demon King coughed up blood, his vision blurring. Trying to clear his head, he realized the devastating power of her punch. Third brother, stop her, he pleaded with the Flame Demon King. Only the Flame Demon King might hold her off. Stop her? How? The Flame Demon King thought, seeing his second brother, a peak Immortal King, defeated by a single punch. Now he, with a crippled arm, was expected to intercept that madwoman? Surely, this was a death sentence. Second brother, if even you can't defeat her, what chance do I have? I just need you to stall her. The Red Nether Demon King yelled, not expecting the Flame Demon's cowardice at such a moment. Second brother, I really can't stop her. Shut up and die already, as Luo Yang reached him. Empress, let's talk about this. The Red Nether Demon King began, but Luo Yang grabbed his head and slammed it into the ground. With a loud bang, the impact spread out from Diguan, causing the ground within a 1,000-mile radius to tremble violently, as if the earth was about to collapse. Although a pseudo-emperor possesses the form of a celestial emperor, they lack its essence. In other words, a pseudo-emperor is not a true celestial emperor. Thus, their spells, artifacts, and combat techniques rely solely on the terrifying strength of a celestial emperor's physical body and boundless spiritual power. But even this is enough to dominate the entire Northern Emperor domain. After all, this power originates from the legendary White Emperor. You can tell that to the tens of thousands of my people who died in battle, Luo Yang said as she dragged the half-dead Red Nether Demon King out of the ground and then extracted his soul. No, no. Please, spare me, the Red Nether Demon King's soul pleaded in terror, sensing the approach of death. The arrogance he had shown moments ago had vanished, replaced by sheer panic. Ignoring his pleas, Luo Yang began to tear his soul apart. Her ancestor had instructed her to completely annihilate this demon. Empress, spare me, I beg you, he continued. If you dare kill me, my demon race won't let you go. You wretched woman, my fourth brother is already a half-step celestial emperor. Once he ascends to celestial emperor, your death will be certain. Even in death, I won't let you off. The Red Nether Demon King's pleas turned to threats, but he ended in a final, unwilling scream as his soul was utterly destroyed. The Red Nether Demon King is dead? How is that possible? He was at the peak of the Celestial King realm, he couldn't have died so easily. But what was that scream? The remaining demon soldiers, already reduced to remnants, were now in total disarray after hearing the Red Nether Demon King's death scream. This wasn't a 3-round fight, it was 3 moves. From beginning to end, the Red Nether Demon King didn't get a chance to strike back, treated like a dog the whole time. What should we do now? One general asked the Flame Demon King, who had lost an arm. The Blood Demon King was still battling the half-step celestial emperor of the human race with no end in sight. Now, the demon soldiers could only look to the Flame Demon King. Just as the Flame Demon King was about to order a retreat, he saw the human Empress in her red dragon robe floating in the air, her gaze fixed on him. A cold sweat broke out all over him. The Flame Demon King rose into the air, facing Luo Yang. You may be powerful, but you won't have enough spiritual power to kill all my warriors. Once your power is exhausted, you'll be at our mercy. Exhaust my spiritual power? Luo Yang sensed the vast ocean of spiritual energy within her dantian and relaxed a bit. Even if another 100,000 demon elites were to come, I wouldn't fear them. Hearing the Flame Demon King's words, the demon soldiers felt reassured. This was their territory. As long as they could stall the human empress, reinforcements would arrive and exhaust her. 3 Demon King is right, someone shouted. The demon soldiers echoed the sentiment, their morale improving. The Flame Demon King felt relieved. These idiots are as gullible as ever, he thought. All troops, fight to the death, the Flame Demon King shouted, and the soldiers charged at Luo Yang with renewed vigor. Little did they know, while they charged headlong into battle, the Flame Demon King was turning to flee toward the demon realm. If the Red Nether Demon King couldn't survive 3 moves, a human wave tactic is just wishful thinking. Trading their lives for mine is worth it, he thought, a smile of relief on his face. He should have fled when the human Empress killed the Red Nether Demon King, but he didn't believe she could actually kill him in 3 moves. Curiosity killed the cat, but his cunning plan to use the demon soldiers to buy time had saved him, or so he thought. As the Flame Demon King flew 200 miles, ready to breathe a sigh of relief, he felt his nerves tighten and cold sweat broke out. How is this possible? Did she kill all those demons so quickly? He turned to see the human Empress in her red dragon robe, feeling his entire body tremble. Luo Yang spoke calmly, "Can't I kill you first?" The Flame Demon King was startled. Those fools couldn't possibly be faster than her. If this human Empress wants to kill me, who can stop her? He felt a wave of despair. I've calculated everything, yet I missed this. Perhaps my fate is to die here today. When did you calculate anything? Luo Yang said. I don't see you as brave or wise. Now, die. Luo Yang struck at the Flame Demon King with a palm strike. Although the Flame Demon King knew he had no chance of defeating the human Empress, it didn't mean he would sit and wait for death. Roaring, he transformed into a flaming dragon and charged at Luo Yang. Years ago, the Flame Demon King, in his late Celestial King stage, used this very move to fight Qin Yang, a peak Celestial King, to a draw. In the blink of an eye, the flaming dragon collided with Luo Yang's palm. With a loud explosion, the dragon screamed in agony and fell to the ground. The Flame Demon King was stunned. He had anticipated a terrifying blow, but not this terrifying. This human Empress had barely exerted herself, yet she had taken half his life. To think I, the Flame Demon King, would die at the hands of a human Empress, he thought, lying on the ground in his true form, lamenting his fate. Luo Yang floated down, hesitating but not speaking. The Flame Demon King noticed her expression and forced himself to look up at her. What do you want to say? He asked. Luo Yang didn't intend to say anything, but the absurdity of the situation left her speechless. This Demon King was pretending to die with honor when he was clearly a fool. The Flame Demon King's voice suddenly grew louder and more resolute. No, you must have something to say. Do you want to tell me that despite my unmatched talent and great ambitions, it's a shame I met you today and am doomed to fall here? You don't need to explain, I know that's what you mean. Ha, I'll accept dying at your hands, but you've only defeated my power. You'll never defeat my spirit. He laughed wildly. The Flame Demon King's voice suddenly grew louder and more resolute. No, you must have something to say. Do you want to tell me that despite my unmatched talent and great ambitions, it's a shame I met you today and am doomed to fall here? You don't need to explain, I know that's what you mean. Ha, I'll accept dying at your hands, but you've only defeated my power. You'll never defeat my spirit. He laughed wildly. You think your death is tragic? Luo Yang asked. Isn't it? The Flame Demon King retorted. Luo Yang was silent. She couldn't understand how this guy had lived so long and reached the late Celestial King stage. Human Empress, enough talk. Kill me if you will, I won't flinch, the Flame Demon King declared. Fine, I'll grant you that, Luo Yang agreed, catching the Flame Demon King off guard. This woman wasn't following his script. In his mind, his fearless demeanor should have made her respect him and ask if he truly wasn't afraid of death. Then, he could beg for mercy, but now it seemed he had miscalculated. Luo Yang coldly looked down at him. You look like someone who fears death, yet your resolve is quite strong. Time to go. Hearing this, the Flame Demon King felt a chill run down his spine. Seeing him grovel, Luo Yang's expression darkened. You'll do anything I say? She asked. Of course. I, the Flame Demon King, always keep my word, he affirmed. Then die, she commanded. Seeing him grovel, Luo Yang's expression darkened. You'll do anything I say? She asked. Of course. I, the Flame Demon King, always keep my word, he affirmed. Then die, she commanded. Before the confusion left his face, Luo Yang's palm strike landed. Her ancestor had instructed her to leave no demons alive, and she intended to follow through. The Flame Demon King, feeling the immense power, closed his eyes in despair. Yet, after a few seconds, he realized he wasn't dead. A ridiculous thought crossed his mind. Had his fearless personality charmed the Empress? He almost laughed at the idea, convinced he was truly the favored one by fate. Why are you standing there laughing? I can't hold on much longer, a voice interrupted his thoughts. He opened his eyes to see a blood-red figure struggling against the Empress. Fourth brother, is that you? He asked joyfully. The Blood Demon King glared at him, cursing under his breath. I've told you I'm barely holding on. Move, he shouted. Right, the Flame Demon King finally reacted, fleeing. The Blood Demon King, freed from the burden, quickly disengaged and retreated to what he thought was a safe distance. He was shocked. When had the human race produced such a powerful female cultivator? He had just absorbed the essence blood of Ninghan, a half-step celestial emperor, greatly boosting his power. Yet, this woman had suppressed him completely. After closing himself off for a millennium to reach the half-step celestial emperor stage, he had hoped to dominate his peers. But now, he faced such a monstrous talent. If the demons had known about her, they wouldn't have attacked so recklessly. He wondered if the news of the demons conquering the Northern Emperor domain was a lie spread by the demon clan to deceive them. Cursing the demon clan, he realized the conflict would now be endless. Retreat to the demon realm, he ordered. The Flame Demon King was puzzled and asked, not even you half-step celestial emperor brother can defeat her? Luo Yang was just about to speak. Just then, a powerful voice echoed from hundreds of miles away. I'll send you back. Instantly alert, the Blood Demon King hesitated for a second before fleeing. The sheer pressure from the voice made his hair stand on end. He didn't dare imagine the terror of its owner. But before he could get far, his body froze. How can this be? How can my body be unable to move? Fear began to creep into the Blood Demon King's heart. He was a half-step immortal emperor, supposedly invincible in the world, but now he found himself utterly powerless. Not bad talent, reaching the half-step immortal emperor realm in less than 5,000 years. A handsome man with white hair and white clothes appeared before the Blood Demon King. The Blood Demon King's pupils shrank slightly, and his face showed undisguised terror. The stronger he was, the more oppressive the presence of the ancestor felt. Of course, this only applied if one had touched upon the mysteries of the immortal emperor realm. Otherwise, one wouldn't even qualify to feel this terrifying pressure. Didn't the human race lose their immortal emperor after the fall of Qingxi Immortal Emperor? The Blood Demon King felt everything before him was surreal. He once believed he would lead the devil clan to glory, but now it seemed that glory had turned into demise. This is our human ancestor, the White Emperor, Luo Yang said proudly from the side. The White Emperor. Hearing these words, the Blood Demon King was completely stunned. The last bit of genius pride left in his heart vanished. The White Emperor, a terrifying figure from 2,000 years ago, known throughout the world. However, the Blood Demon King couldn't help but ask Luo Yang, with the ancestor here, the Qingxi Immortal sect didn't fall to the demon clan? Receiving the expected answer, the Blood Demon King's face turned pale. The Devil Clan was facing a catastrophe. The massacre of the defenders of Imperial Pass and the incident 5,000 years ago when the Demon Emperor killed Qingxi Immortal Emperor left the Blood Demon King wondering if the Devil Clan had any way out. At this moment, I said, Luo Yang, you handle things here at Imperial Pass. I need to visit the Devil Clan. Just now, I sensed something familiar in the direction of the Devil Domain, something possibly related to me. Yes, ancestor, Luo Yang replied. Then, I took the Blood Demon King into the void, disappearing from Imperial Pass. A slaughter ensued at Imperial Pass, with no devils left alive. The 10,000 Devil Mountain in the Devil Domain was the core of the entire Devil Clan, home to the 4 Devil Kings and the Grand Priest. After learning that the Demon Clan had breached the town Demon Great Wall in the southern part of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain, the entire Devil Clan was in celebration. The town Demon Great Wall and Imperial Pass were the cornerstones of human fortune. With the wall breached, Imperial Pass would inevitably fall to the Devil Clan. So, the great Demon King Heijinping immediately dispatched an army of 400,000, along with 3 Devil Kings, to capture Imperial Pass and open the way south for the Devil Clan, preparing to gather fortune in the future. In this era of great contention, those who do not take the initiative and seize opportunities can only wait for death. Imperial Pass has obstructed our Devil Clan for over 2,000 years. Not participating in this battle to breach it is one of life's greatest regrets, someone lamented. And the human side only has 2 immortal kings. With the fall of the Northern Emperor Immortal Domain, the morale of the defenders of Imperial Pass must be low. This battle is pure profit. Enough talk, it's sad to think about. But finally, the humans are done for, and it's time for our Devil Clan to rise. These days, the entire Devil Clan was discussing the attack on Imperial Pass, knowing it was a historic moment for their clan. Good news, good news. At that moment, a devil clan soldier with 3 red flags on his back ran in, shouting. The surrounding devil soldiers made way. This was an 800-mile urgent messenger of the devil clan, with 3 red flags indicating good news from the front, while 3 black flags would signify urgent danger. Haha, it seems Imperial Pass has fallen to the 4th Devil King and the others. The devil soldiers cheered excitedly. The great demon king He Jinping listened to the messenger's report with a satisfied smile. The defenders of Imperial Pass have been slaughtered, the northern king Chen has fallen, and the battle between the northern king and the blood demon king remains unresolved. But that northern king is just a pseudo-immortal emperor and likely no match for the blood demon king who has mastered the extreme path demonic art. This battle has laid the foundation for our devil clan's revival in the south. Next, we will compete with the demon clan for the northern emperor immortal domain. You all did well. Although we lost many warriors, we finally took down the hard nut that was Imperial Pass. The losses are within my acceptable range. By the way, Great Demon King, the messenger continued, the second Devil King asks that you quickly send reinforcements to Imperial Pass to prevent the demon clan from taking advantage. I've already prepared for this, He Jinping replied. After learning that the town demon Great Wall in the southern part of the northern emperor immortal domain had fallen to the demon clan, He Jinping made all necessary arrangements. Having lost tens of thousands to capture Imperial Pass, he couldn't afford to let the demon clan take it. He didn't want to be blocked by the humans for over 2,000 years, only to be blocked by the demon clan right after. The Grand Demon King, at this moment, saw the great priest of the Devil Clan, holding a staff, hurriedly rushing into the Grand Hall, nearly stumbling in his haste. Great Priest, what has happened? He Jinping, the Grand Demon King, hurried forward to support him and simultaneously ordered everyone else in the hall to leave. The great priest of the Devil Clan was from the same era as the Demon Emperor, responsible for divining omens for the Devil Clan, holding the highest prestige after the Demon Emperor himself. Normally, he was extremely cautious in his actions and words. Why was he so distressed today? He Jinping remembered the last time he saw the great priest so upset was 5,000 years ago. The great priest said, I divined the life and death crisis of the Demon Emperor at the holy altar of the Devil Clan. The tortoise shell at the altar shattered, and the Devil Clan faces the threat of extinction. The great priest was already shedding tears of grief. What? The tortoise shell at the holy altar shattered? He Jinping's face changed drastically. The tortoise shell used for divination at their holy altar came from a Xuanwu, black tortoise, slain by their ancestor, known for its unparalleled defensive power. How could it suddenly shatter? Great priest, what did you divine? He Jinping asked urgently. Could it be that the 2 immortal emperors of the Demon Clan are going to attack the Devil Clan? In the world today, only the 2 immortal emperors of the Demon Clan could bring such a calamity upon us. The great priest took a moment to gather himself and said in a somber tone, I heard the good news from outside and decided to divine the future of the human race to prevent their resurgence. In the divination, I saw. At this point, the great priest's face showed an expression of pain as if he had recalled something terrifying. Great priest, are you alright? He Jinping quickly infused spiritual energy to stabilize the great priest's mind. After a while, the great priest spoke with difficulty, I saw a man in white, his back facing me. This person seems to be the key to the rise of the human race. I tried to see his face, but at the moment he turned around, my eyes suddenly went blind, and the tortoise shell at the altar shattered. He Jinping's heart sank. You glimpsed an existence that cannot be seen? No, the great priest shook his head, not an existence that cannot be seen, but one that must not be seen. I could feel he came into my divination on purpose. What? He came into your divination on purpose? He Jinping's shock was beyond words. What kind of terrifying existence could appear at will in the divination of their holy altar? Even the 2 immortal emperors of the Demon Clan couldn't do that, could they? It's bad, it's bad. He has come, he is nearby. The great priest suddenly shouted in terror, sensing that dreadful aura. He's here? He Jinping's pupils contracted slightly. With a loud boom, the demon god hall shook violently. As He Jinping and the great priest were panicking due to the sudden tremor, a voice of a distressed Devil Clan soldier came from outside the hall. Grand Demon King, something terrible has happened. Our clan is suddenly under attack. The 3 outer defensive lines have all collapsed, and we have suffered heavy casualties. So quickly? He Jinping's face became extremely grim, but he quickly suppressed his panic. He was the leader of the Devil Clan and could not afford to lose his composure at this critical moment. How many attackers are there? We don't know, my lord. He Jinping's face showed a hint of disbelief, and he struggled to maintain his composure. The 3 outer defensive lines of the 10,000 Demon Mountain had at least 4,000 Devil Clan warriors, yet they had all collapsed, and they still didn't know how many enemies there were. It must have been the work of an immortal emperor. But where did this immortal emperor come from? He Jinping didn't think it was one of the 2 immortal emperors from the Demon Clan. The Demon Clan was too far away, and having just taken over the southern part of the northern emperor immortal domain, they wouldn't have the time to attack the devil clan. Besides, the great priest's divination pointed to a terrifying human existence. Great priest, do you have any strategies? He Jinping asked, looking at the wise great priest, often referred to as the devil clan strategist. The great priest was silent for a few seconds, then sighed, do your best and leave the rest to fate. He Jinping's inner calm was shattered. Their great priest, who prided himself on defying the heavens, was now resigning to fate. He Jinping was unwilling to accept this. Great priest, is there really no other way? There is, said the great priest, unless you can resurrect the demon emperor. Only an immortal emperor can counter an immortal emperor. At this moment, the entire devil clan was in panic. Thousands had died without even seeing the enemy, which would frighten anyone. As He Jinping and the great priest stepped out of the demon god hall, they suddenly felt an overwhelming pressure, instilling fear in their hearts. The weaker devil clan cultivators were already on their knees, unable to bear the pressure. Indeed, under the immortal emperor, all are ants. The clouds in the sky suddenly dispersed, and a figure in white walked out of the void. With each step, a path appeared before him, golden ripples emanating from his feet. The terrifying vision struck fear into the hearts of the devil clan members. White clothes? He Jinping and the great priest exchanged looks, their faces changing drastically. What they had seen in the divination had come true. The devil clan was indeed facing destruction. As my true form appeared, He Jinping and the great priest could no longer withstand the oppressive aura and were forced to kneel. Damn it! Veins bulged on He Jinping's forehead as he tried to stand against the pressure, but even with all his strength, he couldn't move an inch. Indeed, under the immortal emperor, all are ants. At this moment, he could only hope that the Blood Demon King and the others would return quickly. The Blood Demon King, being a half-step immortal emperor, shouldn't be completely helpless against this person. Just as He Jinping held onto this hope, a figure fell from the sky. It was none other than the Blood Demon King, who was a half-step immortal emperor. Seeing him lying on the ground, barely alive, He Jinping was utterly stunned. Fourth brother, He Jinping's voice trembled as he realized that the last hope of the devil clan was shattered. The Blood Demon King looked up at He Jinping, opened his mouth, but couldn't utter a word. While returning to the devil clan, the Blood Demon King had tried to escape but ended up in my soul-binding banner. When he emerged, he was in this state. The Blood Demon King swore that the banner was the most terrifying place in the world. Only because he had a strong body and was a half-step immortal emperor did he survive, otherwise, he would have been refined within minutes. Refining a half-step immortal emperor in such a short time was terrifying. From the sky, I looked at the tens of thousands of devil clan cultivators kneeling below, feeling nothing. I didn't plan to continue the slaughter. I had more important things to do. The law of the jungle was the rule of this world. The human race had no immortal emperor, and with traitors like Chingi, it was destined to be oppressed by other races. Are you the White Emperor? At this moment, a shocked voice came from below. The speaker was the great priest of the devil clan. You recognize me? This sudden question surprised me. The Blood Demon King knew I was the White Emperor, but he could no longer speak. As for telepathic communication, I didn't sense any, and judging by the expressions of these devil clan cultivators, they seemed equally confused. White Emperor? Hearing the terrifying presence in the sky admit he was the White Emperor, He Jinping's face turned pale. Throughout history, the White Emperor was the first to become an immortal emperor. Before him, the pinnacle of cultivation was the peak of the immortal king realm. It was the White Emperor who opened another door to the world of cultivation. Though many immortal emperors have appeared since the White Emperor's new path was established, none could compare to him. The White Emperor, despite being from the human race, was seen as a goal for many in the demon and devil clans, and He Jinping was no exception. But now, the situation was quite dire. Are you really the White Emperor? The great priest's breathing quickened after my confirmation, a look of reverence flashed across his face, and he continued, years ago, when I accompanied the demon emperor to visit the celestial emperor Qingxi in the northern emperor immortal domain, I saw your portrait. Although thousands of years have passed, I still remember it clearly. The demon emperor visited Qingxi? I frowned slightly. It seemed there were indeed many hidden secrets from those days. Qingxi's death was not as simple as it appeared. I ended this boring topic and glanced at a massive volcano in the northwest, asking, what is that place? A volcano standing alone in the vast desert was somewhat unique. The reason I was interested in this volcano was that I felt what I was looking for might be inside. Hearing me mention the volcano, the great priest's face instantly showed hesitation. That volcano seemed to be a forbidden area for the devil clan. That is our demon emperor's tomb. After struggling internally, the great priest decided to answer truthfully. Whether the devil clan survived now depended on the White Emperor's whims. Continuing to hide the truth would only anger the White Emperor and hasten their demise. He Jinping sighed helplessly but didn't know what to say. The great priest had done nothing wrong, defying the White Emperor now was akin to seeking death. However, the Demon Emperor's tomb might suffer because of this. Although the Demon Emperor had fallen, he did kill the Celestial Emperor Qingxi 5,000 years ago. Now that the White Emperor knew the volcano was the Demon Emperor's tomb, he likely wouldn't let it go. The Great Priest continued, White Emperor, 5,000 years ago, our Demon Emperor fought the Celestial Emperor Qingxi over the fortunes of our races. The Celestial Emperor fell, and we deeply regret it. Now that our Demon Emperor has been dead for many years, we hope the White Emperor. With a boom, the Great Priest was suddenly sent flying, crashing into the back of the Demon God Hall. Can time wash away sins? The Celestial Emperor Qingxi is the one person I feel guilty about. So what if the Demon Emperor is dead? I'll still grind his bones to dust. No Devil King in the Devil Clan for 10,000 years, my grand voice echoed in the ears of the Devil Clan cultivators. This was my punishment for their massacre at the Imperial Pass. What? He Jinping's face turned ashen. No Devil King in 10,000 years meant the end of the Devil Clan's path to cultivation. White Emperor, isn't this too much? He Jinping mustered his courage, glaring at me in the sky. Not satisfied? Then discuss it with my soul-binding banner. He Jinping thought, you threatened my life at the drop of a hat. Can't you at least give me a chance to negotiate? Soon, a black banner emitting black smoke appeared above the Devil Clan members. The moment the Immortal Emperor's soul-binding banner appeared, every Devil Clan cultivator felt uncontrollable fear. It felt as if countless evil spirits were staring at them with greedy eyes. This was undoubtedly the White Emperor's treasure, yet it felt more sinister than any of their Devil Clan treasures. No, don't take me, don't put me in there, the barely alive Blood Demon King suddenly shouted in terror, seemingly stimulated by something. I didn't care about his pleas. With a wave of my hand, two streams of black smoke shot out from the Immortal Emperor's soul-binding banner, pulling in He Jinping and the Blood Demon King. From now on, there will be no Devil Kings in the Devil Clan. Remember my words, or the Devil Clan will be erased from existence. I stepped into the void, heading towards the volcano, the resting place of the Devil Emperor. The tomb was immense, surrounded by a river of lava about 100 meters wide. The towering and burly body of the Devil Emperor sat on a throne symbolizing the supreme power of the Devil Clan. Below were statues of the 4 Demon Kings, the Great Priest of the Devil Clan, and tens of thousands of Devil Clan cultivators, exuding an imposing aura. Seeing this scene, I couldn't help but think of the terracotta warriors from my previous life. I walked slowly forward, stepping into the void. If it weren't for the Devil Emperor, Celestial Emperor Qingxi wouldn't have become my lifelong regret. At that time, the main reason I agreed to come to this world was to see Celestial Emperor Qingxi, but who could have expected such an outcome? Indeed, only after losing something do you learn to cherish it. As I entered the tomb, the restrictions guarding it crumbled under the immense pressure I emitted. The statues below also collapsed under my released pressure. Soon, I reached the body of the Devil Emperor. Although the Devil Emperor had fallen thousands of years ago, the residual pressure from his body was still terrifyingly strong. It was fortunate that it was me who came here. If it had been a peak Celestial King or a half-step Celestial Emperor, they might have perished here. The saying beneath the Celestial Emperor, all our ants, is not just an empty phrase. As I was about to lift the body of the Devil Emperor, I suddenly felt a gaze upon me. It wasn't as simple as it seemed. Just then, a roar like that of an ancient beast echoed behind me. I turned to look and saw a black dragon over 100 meters long, with most of its body already turned to lava. A trace of surprise appeared on my face. 2,000 years ago, 9 peak Celestial King demon ancestors of the Demon Clan surrounded and tried to kill me. I killed them one by one and forged the 9 Dragons' Coffin. This immensely powerful artifact was initially supposed to be the 10 Dragons' Coffin, as there were 10 true dragons among the Demon Clan. The Black Dragon before me was one of them. However, at that time, the Black Dragon was too weak, and the other 9 demon ancestors didn't allow it to participate in the battle. Otherwise, it would have been the 10 Dragons' Coffin, not the 9 Dragons' Coffin. I never expected to see this Black Dragon again after 2,000 years in the tomb of the Devil Emperor. Moreover, this Black Dragon had reached the half-step Celestial Emperor realm, which surprised me. However, it seemed that the dragon's intelligence had been erased. It appeared that the Devil Emperor had refined it into a guardian beast. What puzzled me was that after the Devil Emperor's death, knowing that there were no strong figures left in the Devil Clan, why didn't he use this Black Dragon as a trump card for the Devil Clan but instead trapped it in the tomb to guard it? As I pondered, the Black Dragon suddenly ignited with scorching black flames and lunged at me. Quite loyal, I thought. I moved, instantly appearing in front of the Black Dragon, pressing its head with my hand. With a bang, the fierce Black Dragon plummeted downward, killed in one move despite being a half-step Celestial Emperor. Just as I thought it was over, a flame in a soul state emerged from the Black Dragon's body, flying swiftly into the body of the Devil Emperor above. Resurrection? Interesting. I watched with keen interest, not interfering. If the Devil Emperor could really resurrect, I would be more than happy to kill him again. After the black flame in a soul state entered the Devil Emperor's body, golden patterns appeared on the surface of the Devil Emperor, enveloping his entire body. As the patterns rotated around the Devil Emperor, a terrifying power was released from his body. The Devil Emperor's fingers twitched, and he slowly opened his black vertical pupils. Who awakened me? The Devil Emperor scanned his surroundings, speaking in a deep, hollow voice. Then the Devil Emperor saw me, also looking at him. Almost instantly, the Devil Emperor's pupils contracted slightly, as if seeing an extremely terrifying existence. He immediately knelt to the ground. This sudden action of the Devil Emperor left me, who was about to make a move to suppress him, stunned. I hadn't even made a move yet, so why did he kneel directly? Tuan pays respects to His Majesty the White Emperor. I have finally waited for your arrival, the Devil Emperor said, his tone containing a hint of fear but mostly excitement. I was even more puzzled. Weren't all the great devils in the Devil clan killed by me back then? Who was this Tuan? Why didn't I have any impression of him, and why did he say he was waiting for me? What was going on? The Devil Emperor, seeing my confusion, hurriedly explained, Your Majesty the White Emperor might not remember me. Back then, when the human race attacked the Devil clan because of our collusion with the extraterrestrial devils, we were defeated step by step. I foolishly attempted to assassinate you but was captured alive. However, you didn't kill me and even praised me as a warrior, allowing me to return to the Devil clan. 2,000 years ago, the Devil clan colluded with extraterrestrial devils to plot against the northern celestial domain. The extraterrestrial devils were extremely powerful, with a being comparable to a celestial emperor. They quickly conquered the demon clan's territory. But when they prepared to attack the human race, they encountered me. In less than 3 days, I led the human experts to rout these extraterrestrial devils, driving them out of the northern celestial domain. The extraterrestrial devil comparable to a celestial emperor was slain by me with a single sword strike. With the defeat of the extraterrestrial devils, I turned my wrath on the Devil clan, slaughtering all the great devils. At that time, the middle and lower ranks of the Devil clan were unaware of the true situation and fought desperately to defend the Devil clan. But with all the great devils slain and their elite forces decimated in the war against the extraterrestrial devils, the Devil clan was far from its peak. Some, like the recently advanced Tuan, decided to use their lives to buy time for the Devil clan by attempting to assassinate me. However, he failed but did not die. That encounter left Tuan with an indelible memory of the White Emperor. Listening to the Devil Emperor Tuan's account, I vaguely recalled something. Sparing the Devil clan assassin who attempted to kill me was like a minor quest in a game, offering minimal rewards but triggering a hidden bonus. At that time, the Devil clan was already defeated, and I was invincible in the world, so sparing a mid-level devil assassin had no impact on me. I never expected that the Devil clan junior I spared would one day become a righteous celestial emperor and stage such a scene here, waiting for me. Your Majesty the White Emperor, the Devil Emperor Tuan said excitedly, I was able to reach the celestial emperor realm largely because of your influence. My thoughts were involuntarily pulled back to that great war between the demons and devils 2,000 years ago. At that time, Qingxi Immortal Emperor was still around, many old friends were still there, but I didn't feel much about it back then. After all, it was just a game. But now, looking back, I suddenly felt like the rushing waters of the Yangtze River flowing east, washing away heroes with its waves. Success and failure turned to nothing in the blink of an eye. Looking back on 10,000 years, everything has changed. You just said you were waiting for me? I asked. The Devil Emperor Tuan nodded, then fell silent, seemingly reminiscing about something. I didn't interrupt, just quietly waited. If this Devil Emperor Tuan wasn't acting, then there must be another reason behind Qingxi Immortal Emperor's fall 5,000 years ago. After a while, the Devil Emperor Tuan came back to his senses, with a few more traces of regret on his face. He said, to be precise, Qingxi Immortal Emperor asked me to wait for you. Before she fell, she said her greatest regret in life was not being able to wait for your return. Qingxi Immortal Emperor and you are the two people I, Tuan, respect the most in my life. So after returning to the Devil clan, I tore my own soul and fused it with that black dragon, waiting for you in this tomb. Fortunately, heaven favored me, and I finally waited for you. Her greatest regret in life was not waiting for me? She was thinking about me before she died? I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my heart. Why did she ask you to wait for me? And weren't you the one who dueled with Qingxi at the hidden immortal abyss and killed her? There were many things in the Devil Emperor Tuan's words that I couldn't understand. Qingxi Immortal Emperor said she would wait for my return, that was an agreement between us. But why did she ask this Devil Emperor Tuan to wait for me? And how did this Devil Emperor Tuan know that I would definitely come to his tomb? There were too many doubts. Hearing my questioning, the Devil Emperor Tuan's face instantly showed a look of terror, and he quickly explained. Your Majesty the White Emperor, the reason I challenged Qingxi Immortal Emperor back then was purely to seek a breakthrough. I absolutely had no intention of killing Qingxi Immortal Emperor. Besides, with my strength at the time, it's debatable whether I could even beat Qingxi Immortal Emperor, let alone kill her. Then why did you have a life and death duel with Qingxi Immortal Emperor at the hidden immortal abyss? Actually, I said life and death duel at that time purely to temper my Dao heart, leaving no way out for myself, in order to seek a breakthrough. As for why I chose the hidden immortal abyss, well. The Devil Emperor Tuan looked hesitant to speak. He sighed, the reason I chose the hidden immortal abyss is that no one was there. If I really couldn't beat Qingxi Immortal Emperor, I could kneel and beg for mercy. After all, it's not easy to reach the Celestial Emperor stage, and I was a little afraid of death. Hearing Tuan's answer, I felt exasperated. If Qingxi didn't die at your hands, how did she die? And why was her body never found? Upon hearing my question, Tuan's face suddenly became more serious. Your Majesty the White Emperor, do you still remember the extraterrestrial devils? What are you trying to say? At the bottom of the hidden immortal abyss, there is an extremely powerful species. Immediately, the Devil Emperor Tuan began recounting the events he and Qingxi Immortal Emperor encountered at the bottom of the hidden immortal abyss. This was also the main reason he waited for me here. Only someone as ancient and powerful as me could deal with that terrifying species. 5,000 years ago, Tuan and Qingxi Immortal Emperor agreed to a life and death duel at the hidden immortal abyss. Although Tuan's talent was terrifying, his accumulation was far less than Qingxi Immortal Emperor's. After 300 rounds, Tuan gradually fell into a disadvantage. Just as he was about to admit defeat and beg for mercy, a light gate suddenly appeared at the deepest part of the hidden immortal abyss. Seeing this strange phenomenon, the two stopped fighting and went to investigate. At first, they probed a bit and found that there seemed to be no danger inside. Moreover, both were immensely powerful celestial emperors, so they had nothing to fear. Thus, they walked into the light gate. But what happened next completely overturned their understanding. Inside, they encountered a species similar to the demon clan, with 9 heads in total. Each head had at least mid-stage celestial emperor strength, and the strongest head had even reached the perfect celestial emperor stage. Under the attack of these 9-headed monsters, Qingxi Immortal Emperor and Tuan soon couldn't hold on. But they couldn't escape either. If these 9 monsters followed them out of the hidden immortal abyss, the entire northern celestial domain would be devastated. In the end, Qingxi Immortal Emperor decided to sacrifice herself, using her life to hold back the 9 monsters and destroy the light gate connecting to the hidden immortal abyss. At the moment the light gate closed, Tuan escaped. Despite this, Tuan still suffered incurable injuries and soon died in this volcano with resentment. After hearing Tuan's account, I quickly reached a conclusion. In the game, in another instance in the northern celestial domain, there was a type of ancient divine demon-blooded monster. These monsters, from their birth, had at least nascent soul stage cultivation and extremely fast cultivation speed. Of course, this wasn't their most formidable trait. These divine demon hybrids' most formidable trait was their innate divine ability. This innate divine ability could grow stronger as the divine demon hybrid's strength increased. But why did these divine demon hybrids appear so coincidentally at the place where the two fought, the hidden immortal abyss? I looked at Tuan, wanting to understand what kind of hybrid appeared so coincidentally at the hidden immortal abyss he chose. Also, you said before that if you couldn't win, you would kneel and beg for mercy. But if I'm not mistaken, the path you cultivate should be the invincible Dao heart. The so-called invincible is to be fearless. But you had already thought of a retreat before the duel with Qingxi Immortal Emperor even began. Do you think this aligns with the Dao heart you cultivate? Hearing what I said, Tuan's face instantly became extremely ugly. Yes, I cultivate the invincible Dao heart. This duel was also to temper the Dao heart and seize the opportunity to break through. But why was I afraid before the fight even started? What went wrong? Tuan held his head, a look of pain appearing on his face. Why did I choose the hidden immortal abyss as the place to duel Qingxi Immortal Emperor? Why was I afraid to fight? I don't know. I don't know. Demon Emperor Tuan muttered to himself for a while. His soul seemed to have been stimulated by something, and he suddenly started howling in anguish. His eyes showed resentment, anger, and murderous intent. At this moment, Demon Emperor Tuan probably recalled something, but due to the incomplete state of his soul, he couldn't piece his thoughts together. He only knew that his death was unjust. Was it really him who fought Qingxi Immortal Emperor back then? Seeing the incomplete soul of Demon Emperor Tuan flickering like a candle in the wind, I immediately extended my hand and sent a stream of spiritual energy over, temporarily stabilizing his soul. But this wouldn't last long. In a few more sentences, Demon Emperor Tuan's soul would dissipate completely. You were caught in someone else's scheme. I have uncovered the mystery within it. With Demon Emperor Tuan's strength, it was impossible for him to be bewitched. He must have been unknowingly influenced by someone else's plan, gradually falling into it without realizing it. Achieving such an effect, almost killing two birds with one stone by eliminating two immortal emperors, this plot must have been laid out long ago, possibly even before Tuan became an immortal emperor. But for now, I couldn't think of anyone in the Northern Desolation immortal domain who had such power to use immortal emperors as pawns. I think I remember now, Demon Emperor Tuan seemed to realize his time was short, and his speech quickened. Back then, when I left the demon clan and was about to head to the burial immortal abyss, our clan's great priest divined my fate and told me I would die at Qingxi Immortal Emperor's hands. That was why I developed a fear of fighting. So you suspect it was your clan's great priest who had an issue? I asked. No. Demon Emperor Tuan shook his head. I think someone influenced our great priest's divination. It's impossible to divine the fate of immortal emperors accurately, so what he saw was a death omen. I nodded slightly, the situation had become clear. The person behind this used some method to make the great priest worry about Tuan's fate, prompting him to perform a divination. The resulting death omen then influenced Tuan, leading to his defeat before the fight even began. With Tuan's fear in place, neither would suffer serious injuries, paving the way for them to enter the light gate later. Since they weren't critically wounded, they confidently stepped through the gate. Demon Emperor Tuan, is there anything else you want to ask? My incomplete soul won't last much longer, Tuan reminded, feeling his soul beginning to dissipate. Did Qingxi Immortal Emperor leave anything behind? The reason I came here was because I sensed something connected to me. Yes, she did, Demon Emperor Tuan patted his head, smiling bitterly. This incomplete soul has made me forget some things. Qingxi Immortal Emperor indeed left something. With that, Demon Emperor Tuan moved to the side of the magma river and lifted his hand. Soon, a jade coffin covered in restrictions floated up from the river. As the jade coffin appeared, the familiar feeling in my heart grew stronger. Sealed within this coffin was Qingxi Immortal Emperor's sword. Knowing she couldn't survive, Qingxi Immortal Emperor sent this sword out before the light gate closed. Also, Tuan continued, taking out a jade pendant. This jade pendant fell out after the light gate closed. I investigated it for a long time but found no clues. I suspect it may be related to the one behind everything. At this point, Tuan's pupils suddenly became vacant, and his incomplete soul began to dissipate. I wanted to send more spiritual energy to stabilize his soul, but it was futile. This incomplete soul had already defied natural order by lasting this long. Demon Emperor Tuan is happy to have seen you again, White Emperor. Tuan closed his eyes, and his incomplete soul finally vanished. I sighed. Though feeling a bit melancholic, I didn't dwell on it. I approached the jade coffin, broke the restrictions, and retrieved Qingxi Immortal Emperor's sword. Qingxi Immortal Emperor's sword, named Qinghong, was an extremely powerful emperor weapon. When I held it in my hand, the sword's body trembled slightly, as if it was weeping. Emperor weapons had spirits, and Qinghong was grieving. Sealed in this coffin for thousands of years since the battle in the burial immortal abyss, it had been lonely. I stroked Qinghong's blade, calming it. I will avenge your master. Qinghong responded with a series of tremors. At that moment, I suddenly felt an unfamiliar fluctuation in the sword, one that didn't belong to its sword spirit. This feeling stirred a sense of connection within me. I immediately released my divine sense to investigate and soon smiled in excitement. Qinghong still contained a remnant of Qingxi Immortal Emperor's soul, though without consciousness. This remnant soul, left behind to nourish the sword embryo, was part of Qingxi Immortal Emperor's essence. With it, I might be able to attempt her resurrection. Though it was just a remnant, it gave me hope of reuniting with Qingxi Immortal Emperor. This trip to the demon clan was worthwhile. However, to resurrect Qingxi Immortal Emperor, I would need to transcend the Immortal Emperor realm. Achieving transcendence was just the first condition. The most crucial part was finding the legendary decree that could reconstruct a body. The task of resurrecting Qingxi Immortal Emperor was arduous, but it had to be done step by step. I should find a way to achieve transcendence first. Besides reviving Qingxi Immortal Emperor, I also need to fend off those god and demon variants. Since these god and demon variants can descend into this world once, they can do it again. I must be prepared. I have already reached the peak of Immortal Emperor, and I am just one step away from transcendence. The only reason I haven't transcended is because I've been busy with college entrance exam prep and had no time to log in. Fortunately, I had already prepared for transcendence. Before quitting the game, I specifically cleared a dungeon and received a transcendence secret method as a reward. Immediately, I checked that transcendence secret method in my sea of corpses. The Elysium duel cultivation technique requires a woman with immortal veins as the top partner to achieve 108 poses together. The higher the cultivation of the top partner, the greater the chance of transcendence. After reading the introduction to this transcendence secret method, I was at a loss for words. When I cleared that dungeon, 9 transcendence secret methods were available for selection. At the time, I was in a hurry to log off and eat, so I randomly chose one, and it turned out to be a dual cultivation book. Now, I don't know whether to be happy or distressed. The method and process of transcendence are indeed simple, but where can I find a dual cultivation partner with immortal veins? Moreover, it requires 108 poses who can endure that. However, the Elysium dual cultivation technique is indeed the quickest way to achieve transcendence. Next, I need to find a woman with immortal veins, and quickly. I must achieve transcendence as soon as possible to counter that person who can use immortal emperors as chess pieces. After leaving the Devil Emperor's tomb, I went directly to the Imperial Pass. As for the Devil clan, after this heavy blow, they are no longer a threat. The Imperial Pass was still the same as when I came, with corpses everywhere. The only difference was the increased number of Devil clan corpses. Seeing my return, Luoyang quickly brought the child beside her to pay their respects. I waved my hand to indicate that they didn't need to be formal, then looked at the child, the only survivor of the Imperial Pass. I remember when Luoyang and I arrived at the Imperial Pass, this child was the only one left on the city wall, but he still held the human clan's battle flag firmly. The Imperial Pass indeed has no cowards, not even among the children. I was gratified yet heartbroken. These were his people, the brave warriors of the human clan. Ancestor, what about the Devil clan? Luoyang asked. The Devil clan can't stir up any trouble now. Let's talk about the rest on the way, I replied. Are we leaving the Imperial Pass like this? Luoyang looked at the bodies of human clan soldiers all over the city, feeling uneasy. They died protecting the human clan, and now they don't even have a resting place? Seeing Luoyang's concern, I calmly said, once we return to the northern immortal domain, I will send someone to guard the Imperial Pass again. As for the bodies of the fallen soldiers, not one will be left to rot in the wild. Hearing this, Luoyang nodded in relief. Then Luoyang looked at the child beside her and asked, Ancestor, what about this child? Take him back to the northern immortal domain first. When he grows up, if he wants to return to the Imperial Pass, he can. This child, at such a young age, had such a determined mind, which is very rare. However, having witnessed so many of his kin die, a seed of hatred must have been planted in his heart. Without proper guidance, his mind could easily become twisted, leading him to go astray and become a future menace. Alright, Luoyang nodded. Then, I took the two of them into the void. I briefly told Luoyang about the death of Qingxi Immortal Emperor and the god and demon variants. After hearing this, Luoyang was shocked beyond words. Who would have thought that the battle between the Devil Emperor and Qingxi Immortal Emperor at the hidden immortal abyss concealed so many secrets? Does this mean those variants might descend into the northern immortal domain again? Luoyang asked, her face full of worry. She was only at the immortal lord level now, and to combat these god and demon variants, at least the strength of an immortal emperor was required, if not the peak strength of an immortal king. If those variants really descended upon the northern immortal domain again, she, as the empress of the great emperor dynasty, would be helpless. As for when these god and demon variants might descend, it depends on when the person behind the scenes makes their move. Luoyang didn't know how to respond. According to the ancestor, the god and demon variants have strong innate abilities. Just the 9 god and demon variants that killed Qingxi Immortal Emperor had the strength of immortal emperors. Currently, the human clan only has the white emperor as an immortal emperor. Although my strength far surpasses ordinary immortal emperors, if I get entangled, the northern immortal domain will be devastated. After a moment of silence, Luoyang asked, Ancestor, do you have any countermeasures? I didn't hide anything. Absolute strength is the only way to break this deadlock, so I have decided to attempt transcendence. Luoyang was taken aback. Isn't it rumored that the ancestor has already transcended? You said it yourself, it's just a rumor. I turned to look at Luoyang. I must say, this empress in a bright red dragon robe is indeed a peerless beauty. The transcendence ceremony requires your help. Our help? Luoyang was surprised. I nodded. I need you to find a woman with immortal veins. A woman with immortal veins? Upon hearing this, Luoyang's body stiffened as if struck by lightning. Did the ancestor want this woman with immortal veins as a sacrificial offering or a dual cultivation partner? If it weren't me saying this, Luoyang would have thought the person was coveting her body. Why do you need a woman with immortal veins? Luoyang couldn't help but ask tentatively. What's wrong? I noticed Luoyang's strange expression. Nothing, maybe the power you granted me is too strong and I can't absorb it all at once. Luoyang quickly made an excuse to cover her panic. The power left in your body contains the essence of the immortal Tao. Comprehend it well, it will greatly benefit your cultivation. Yes, thank you for the gift, ancestor. Seeing that I was unwilling to say more, Luoyang didn't dare ask further. However, she knew this matter couldn't be hidden for long. As the empress of the great emperor dynasty with immortal veins, it's not a well-kept secret in the northern immortal domain. Once I instructed Qingxi Immortal Sect to handle this, Luoyang would undoubtedly be exposed. 2 days later, Luoyang and I arrived at Qingxi Immortal Sect. When the Qingxi Immortal Sect members learned about the events at the Northern Imperial Pass, they all asked to march on the Devil Clan. However, I ignored these people and instructed Li Xianfeng to gather all the sect leaders in the main hall of Qingxi Immortal sect. The reason all the defenders at the Imperial Pass perished was because they chose to fight the Devil Clan after hearing the news of the Northern Immortal Domain's fall. Otherwise, with the Imperial Pass's defenses, the human clan defenders wouldn't have died so quickly. Hearing this, Luo Yang's heart pounded uncontrollably. The inevitable had finally come. Soon, sect leaders from all over the Northern Immortal Domain arrived at the main hall of Qingxi Immortal sect. At the ancestor's command, who would dare disobey? Despite the heavy losses in many sects being annihilated in the war against the Demon Clan, there were still over 100 representatives from various sects gathered at Qingxi Immortal sect. Among the many representatives of the sects, one stood out for being particularly special. He was merely in the foundation establishment stage. However, upon learning which sect the young sect master belonged to, everyone understood. The Haoran sect might not have played the biggest role in the war against the Demon Clan, but it was undoubtedly the most fearless. Many cultivators couldn't help but feel a sense of pity. Ancestor has arrived, came a loud call from outside the hall. All the cultivators turned to look outside, then bowed and greeted in unison, "Welcome, Ancestor." I, dressed in white with white hair, walked into the hall stepping on the void, followed by Li Xianfeng carrying a sword on his back, and the stunningly beautiful Empress Luo Yang in a bright red dragon robe. After taking my seat, I signaled everyone to rise. Glancing at these pillars of the Northern Immortal Domain, I couldn't help but sigh internally. They were too weak, so weak that even a foundation establishment stage cultivator stood among them. I didn't waste words and directly told them about the god and demon variants. As for the reason behind the fall of Qingxi Immortal Emperor, I mentioned it briefly. Upon hearing about the god and demon variants, everyone's faces turned extremely grave. What should we do now? Should we leave the Northern Immortal Domain and find another place to live? These god and demon variants are so powerful, if they invade the Northern Immortal Domain again, our human clan might face extinction. Leave the Northern Immortal Domain? The god and demon variants haven't even arrived, and you sect masters are already scared? Before the ancestor brought the Tao, the demon and devil clans were unbeatable for us humans. Now, with the ancestor protecting us, why should we fear these god and demon variants? Everyone had their opinions, some worried about extinction, while others were determined to fight to the death. Everyone, calm down, Li Xianfeng interrupted the disputes. The cultivators realized their folly, bowing respectfully, remembering that the ancestor was present. How could they argue in his presence? Once the hall quieted down, I stood up and said calmly, besides our Northern Immortal Domain, there are many vast immortal domains. Do you think that besides having an ulterior motive, why do these variants target our Northern Immortal Domain specifically? Silence filled the hall. After a while, a young man stepped forward. Ancestor, because our human clan is weak. The cultivators were taken aback, looking at the audacious youth. Ancestor is the most extraordinary cultivator in the history of the Northern Immortal Domain, with unmatched divine powers. With the ancestor guarding us, how dare you say the human clan is weak? This youth, merely in the foundation establishment stage, dares to speak so boldly in front of the ancestor? How can you say our human clan is weak with the ancestor here? Seeing that it was the only foundation establishment cultivator in the hall, I was slightly surprised. Li Xianfeng explained to me the background of this young sect master and the contributions of the Haoran sect in the war against the Demon Clan. The Haoran sect sent over 4,600 people to the war, all of whom died without a single survivor. Hearing that the youth was from the Haoran sect, Luo Yang was moved. When the traitor Qingxi forced her to become Taoist companions with King Jinshan, only one disciple from the Haoran sect stood up for her, only to be killed by Qingxi. Explain your statement about the human clan being weak, I said, gaining interest in the youth. Geniuses are common, but iron-willed geniuses are rare. If what Li Xianfeng said was true, the Haoran sect was worth nurturing. Thank you, ancestor, Su Gui bowed and looked around the hall before continuing. Esteemed sect masters and seniors, you think our human clan is not weak because we have the ancestor. But I ask, if one day the ancestor is held back by the god and demon variants, what then? The Imperial Pass was breached by the Devil Clan, tens of thousands of our soldiers died, and our 2 immortal kings have fallen. Now, our human clan doesn't even have a single immortal king left besides the ancestor. Isn't that weakness? The hall fell silent after Su Gui's speech. Indeed, the human clan now had no immortal king besides the ancestor. Although the demon clan lost King Jinshan, they still had 9 immortal kings. Compared to that, wasn't the human clan weak? Ha ha ha, well said. I praised him. The human clan is now in a state of decay, and we need such young blood. Seeing the young sect master of the Haoran sect receive praise from the ancestor, the others looked on enviously. Being recognized by the ancestor was a step towards great success. But that's just one aspect, I continued. Our human clan's overall strength is weak, but the most crucial part is the belief in your hearts. The god and demon variants may be strong, but they are not invincible. Don't forget how our human clan rose and reached its peak. Hearing this, everyone recalled their history. The history of the Northern Immortal Domain was a story every cultivator knew. Thousands of years ago, this land was known as Sin State, where humans were food and slaves to the demon and devil clans. Until the first cultivator resisted, paving the way for future generations with their lives and faith. That era's determination for a better future was unwavering. But now, it seemed they had been oppressed by the demon and devil clans for too long. Instead of finding ways to defeat their enemies, they thought of surviving. Reflecting on this, everyone felt ashamed. Yes, belief. This land was fought for by our ancestors. How can we, their descendants, hand it over? If the god and demon variants want to fight, then fight we will. We will not yield an inch of this land. I am willing to die with the ancestor to defend the human clan. Gradually, voices of righteous indignation filled the hall, their blood ignited. Seeing the rising morale, I nodded slightly. My goal was achieved. Without boosting their morale now, if the god and demon variants suddenly descended, the Northern Immortal Domain would collapse in fear. I raised my hand, signaling for silence. It's time to discuss something even more important. The human clan has suffered greatly in the wars against the demon and devil clans. Don't be fooled by the 100 sect representatives here today. I know the human clan is at its weakest. To resolve the impending crisis of the god and demon variants, the White Emperor must rely on himself and achieve transcendence as soon as possible. I need you all to thoroughly search your sects for a female cultivator with immortal veins. Hearing this, the cultivators looked puzzled. A female cultivator with immortal veins? Was the ancestor planning to take a Taoist partner? With this thought, the representatives couldn't help but feel excited, eager to return to their sects and begin the search. After all, if a female cultivator with immortal veins came from their sect, that sect would surely rise to the ranks of the strongest sects in the Northern Immortal Domain, enjoying the best cultivation resources. However, soon everyone seemed to think of something and couldn't help but sigh. Immortal veins? Ordinary cultivators couldn't possess that. If their sect had a cultivator with immortal veins, they would have been treated as the sect's treasure long ago. How could they be overlooked? After all, as long as a cultivator with immortal veins doesn't die prematurely or encounter some accident, they would surely reach the level of an immortal king in the future. A female cultivator with immortal veins? Li Xianfeng muttered to himself and glanced at Luo Yang beside him. If he remembered correctly, the Empress of the Grand Radiant Dynasty, Luo Yang, seemed to have immortal veins. But it seemed the ancestor didn't know about this. At this moment, many cultivators who had recovered their senses also cast their gazes at Luo Yang. Wasn't the female cultivator with immortal veins precisely this Empress? What should I do? What should I do? Feeling everyone's attention, Luo Yang remained outwardly calm, but her heart was in turmoil. If the ancestor knew she had deliberately hidden this fact, he would surely be furious. Luo Yang, what are you thinking? Whether the ancestor wants you as a sacrificial offering or a Tao companion, do you have a choice? Luo Yang silently mocked herself. Cultivators in the Northern Immortal Domain grew up listening to stories about the White Emperor and Qingxi Immortal Emperor. Naturally, Luo Yang was no exception. She had heard the most about Qingxi Immortal Emperor, but she admired the White Emperor the most. She couldn't understand why she had been so foolish to hide this fact. Was it too late to confess now? Ancestor, Luo Yang murmured, preparing to kneel and confess, when a disciple of the Qin Immortal sect suddenly reported, stopping Luo Yang in her tracks. What is it? I glanced at Luo Yang. I felt something was off about Luo Yang, but couldn't pinpoint what. It's nothing, Luo Yang said with a bitter smile. The Black Abyss King of the Demon Clan is here by the order of the Demon Emperor to seek an audience with the ancestor. He is currently outside the mountain gate, the Qin Immortal sect disciple reported from the entrance of the hall, bowing respectfully. The Black Abyss King of the Demon Clan? The crowd exchanged puzzled looks. The Demon Clan and the Human Clan had just fought a war, and the hatred between the two clans was at an all-time high. Why would the two demon emperors send an immortal king to meet the ancestor of the human clan now? To deliver themselves to death? Let him in, I said without hesitation. It was time to see what these two demon emperors were up to. Yes, the disciple replied and left. Soon, a burly middle-aged man with dark skin and black hair was led to the entrance of the Qin Immortal Sect's hall by the disciple. Seeing the grand hall, the Black Abyss King felt a chill. He had just woken from his slumber and was given this deadly task by the two demon emperors, to meet the legendary White Emperor of the human clan. With the recent war between the demon and human clans, this visit felt like a one-way trip. Black Abyss King, why are you standing there? Go in. The ancestor has been waiting for a while. Be careful, or the ancestor might get angry, the Qin Immortal sect disciple reminded. Thank you, the Black Abyss King replied, snapping out of his panic and walking into the hall. On any other day, the Black Abyss King might have scoffed at threats, but now he could only muster a grateful smile. He wasn't the only one, even one of the demon emperors would tremble in the presence of the White Emperor. The Black Abyss King coughed and, under the disdainful and angry gazes of the cultivators in the hall, walked forward with his head held high. So many people, not even an immortal king among them, he thought, trying to bolster his courage by reminding himself he was representing the demon emperors. As he approached the hall, the Black Abyss King felt a weight on his shoulders like a mountain and his legs began to tremble. I watched him collapse to his knees and kowtow. Little demon black bear spirit greets the White Emperor, may the White Emperor live forever, he said. My stern expression softened with surprise. The cultivators in the hall were also taken aback. Was this Black Abyss King trying to be funny? Using the ceremonial greetings of mortal emperors and calling himself a little demon? Even the proud and brutal King Jinchon wouldn't stoop so low. Having slept for so long, the Black Abyss King had realized one thing: there were only 3 realms in this world: predecessors, peers, and ants. Right now, he was an ant, and ants had to act like ants. Rise. Thank you, White Emperor, the Black Abyss King said, scrambling to his feet with a flattering and respectful demeanor. The cultivators frowned, unable to understand what this Black Abyss King was up to. Compared to the proud and ruthless King Jinchon, he didn't look like an immortal king at all. But they knew that anyone who reached the level of an immortal king was not to be underestimated, especially since the demon clan was known for their cunning. Tell me, why did the 2 demon emperors send you? I asked, cutting to the chase. White Emperor, our 2 demon emperors sent me to invite you to meet them outside the demon-suppressing Great Wall, the Black Abyss King replied, adding nervously, little demon is just a messenger. I pondered for a moment. I suppose it's time to see what these 2 demon emperors are up to. Yes, the Black Abyss King responded, somewhat surprised by my quick agreement. Aren't you afraid it's a trap, he whispered. The cultivators immediately echoed his concern, urging me not to fall into a trap set by the demon clan. If the White Emperor fell, the human clan would be doomed. But then they realized something was off. Why was a demon clan immortal king worried about the safety of the human clan's ancestor? The hall fell silent. Why are you, a demon clan immortal king, concerned about our ancestor's safety? The hostile gazes made the Black Abyss King anxious. Out of respect for the White Emperor, he quickly explained. I chuckled. Do you think it's a trap? The Black Abyss King fell silent. This was a no-win question. He regretted his loose tongue, this wasn't a matter for an immortal king to meddle in. Lead the way. I have no interest in continuing to make things difficult for this strange black bear spirit. Yes, your majesty, please. Black Abyss King heaved a sigh of relief. The cultivators, seeing my determination to leave, could only glare fiercely at Black Abyss King without daring to say anything more. They respectfully sent me off. The cultivators watched me leave. As Black Abyss King and I walked away from the hall, they suddenly and unanimously turned to look at Luo Yang standing above, and then offered their congratulations. Seeing this, Luo Yang could only force a bitter smile. I've heard that Taoist friend Luo has been at the peak of the immortal lord for a long time. It seems it won't be long before our human race gains another immortal king, Li Shenfeng said, cupping his hands slightly. Master Li, you flatter me. How can I, Luo Yang, accept such praise? Luo Yang replied, her face full of embarrassment. The Great Emperor dynasty was still far inferior to the colossal Qingxi zone. Otherwise, back then, Qinghui wouldn't have dared to treat her, the Empress, as a commodity to be given to the demon clan. Li Shenfeng smiled and asked somewhat puzzledly, Taoist friend Luo, why didn't you just tell the ancestor about your immortal vein? Luo Yang wore a bitter smile. She had intended to say it, and had even prepared to kneel, but then this whole commotion happened. 100 miles south of the northern wilderness immortal domain's demon town Great Wall, Xian Emperor and Barbarian Emperor stood on the mountaintop, gazing at the direction of the demon town Great Wall. Brother Xian, do you think the White Emperor will come? Barbarian Emperor frowned, growing impatient. They had invited White Emperor here with a plan, but Barbarian Emperor couldn't understand why the always meticulous Xian Emperor would set up such an obvious trap. Mysterious Emperor smiled faintly. If 2 immortal kings of the human race set up a trap to kill you, would you go? Barbarian Emperor answered without hesitation, 2 immortal kings are mere ants. Even if they set up a trap, what do I have to fear? After speaking, Barbarian Emperor finally got it. Brother Xian, you and I are both immortal emperors. Why belittle ourselves? Even if White Emperor is powerful, he can't possibly treat us like chickens to be slaughtered. It's not belittling, it's the truth. In the eyes of White Emperor, who stands at the pinnacle of the northern wilderness immortal domain, any conspiracy is meaningless before absolute power. Barbarian Emperor gritted his teeth, damn it, this White Emperor is indeed arrogant. When he arrives, I'll definitely challenge him to see if he's as terrifying as you say. Mysterious Emperor remains silent. After a while, his eyes flashed with a golden light as he gazed at the sky. He's here. Hearing this, Barbarian Emperor tensed up, despite his outward disdain for White Emperor. He was still haunted by the terror of White Emperor crushing his Dharma form with a single hand. In the sky, anomalies appeared, and a figure in white clothes emerged from the void. The moment White Emperor appeared, both Mysterious Emperor and Barbarian Emperor felt an oppressive force. It had been a long time since they had felt such pressure from anyone. The last time was 5,000 years ago, facing Qingxi Immortal Emperor. White Emperor, Mysterious Emperor and Barbarian Emperor cupped their fists slightly. Though their realms were the same as mine, in terms of status and seniority, they should call me senior. After all, when I became an emperor, they were still playing in the mud somewhere. Barbarian Emperor secretly admired, truly worthy of being the first orthodox immortal emperor in the history of the Northern Wilderness immortal domain. Facing White Emperor in person, he couldn't help but feel uncontrollable fear. White Emperor was indeed powerful. Mysterious Emperor felt fear too, but he was more excited. One mid-stage, one late perfect stage. This guy is deliberately hiding his realm, I thought, sizing up the two demon emperors. I was slightly surprised that this Mysterious Emperor was not of my era, yet he had achieved immortal emperor perfection. His talent was high indeed. No, wait, I suddenly frowned. There's something off about Mysterious Emperor. He's not a demon, but a human. I had always found it strange. When I built the Demon Town Great Wall and the Imperial Pass, it was not only to resist the invasions of the demon and devil clans but also to suppress the human race's destiny. However, for nearly 10,000 years, not only has there been no new immortal emperor, but even immortal kings are rare. It turns out that this guy has been monopolizing the destiny. Mysterious Emperor smiled faintly, knowing I had seen through him. These tricks to deceive Barbarian Emperor might work, but they were just laughable before me. Mysterious Emperor gestured for me to proceed. Cut the crap. You brought me here to ambush me, right? I couldn't be bothered to play word games with these two. In the Northern Wilderness immortal domain, strength rules. Let our skills speak. Mysterious Emperor's face showed a hint of surprise. White Emperor, you misunderstand. We had no intention of ambushing you. Then, Mysterious Emperor's tone shifted. We merely heard that White Emperor possesses the innate Tao Jade. We wish to borrow your life to glimpse the Tao and achieve transcendence. Barbarian Emperor was stunned by Mysterious Emperor's bluntness. Where was the cautiousness from before? Aren't you afraid I'll kill you both on the spot? Barbarian Emperor suddenly felt like he didn't know Mysterious Emperor at all. Transcendence, huh? Just the two of you? I sneered, then asked, I'm curious. You monopolize the human race's destiny to become an emperor. Why join the demon clan and attack the human race, ruining your own destiny? Upon hearing my question, Barbarian Emperor looked at Mysterious Emperor with suspicion. Mysterious Emperor is human. Wasn't he a demon who achieved enlightenment? Brother Xian, you're human? What is your true intention? Barbarian Emperor was starting to panic. Were these two planning to team up against him? If so, he was doomed. Mysterious Emperor remained calm. Brother Barbarian, does it matter if I'm human or demon? Barbarian Emperor shouted, of course it matters. Who knows if this is a plot to kill White Emperor or to kill me? Mysterious Emperor's face darkened. Idiot, if killing you could make me transcend, you'd be dead already. Why would I need to plot against White Emperor? Barbarian Emperor realized it made sense. Over the past few thousand years, he had developed absolute trust in Mysterious Emperor. If Mysterious Emperor wanted to kill him, he had countless opportunities. Calming Barbarian Emperor, Mysterious Emperor then answered my question. White Emperor, do you know that sometimes there are things that don't need answers? I hate the human race, so I want to exterminate them. I hate you, so I want to kill you. Mysterious Emperor's tone was very calm. He hates me? Hearing Mysterious Emperor's answer, I was utterly confused. I had never even had any interaction with this guy. This was our first meeting, where did this hatred come from? White Emperor, I know you must have many questions in your heart. Don't worry, I'll tell you everything today. With that, Mysterious Emperor stomped his foot, and a massive formation instantly enveloped the sky, covering this place. Seeing this formation, a trace of confusion flashed across my face. This formation looked very familiar. White Emperor, doesn't this formation feel very familiar? This is Qingxi's boundary heaven. The smile on Mysterious Emperor's face suddenly turned cold. Soon, the three of us appeared in a land filled with yellow sand. Amidst the vast expanse of sand stood a majestic pass. The plaque on the city gate bore the words Imperial Pass. The boundary heaven formation created by Qingxi Immortal Emperor could manifest any scene she had seen before with 100% accuracy. Moreover, this formation had a unique characteristic: once inside, unless the person who set up the formation actively dispelled it, or their spiritual energy was exhausted, those inside would never be able to leave. What is your relationship with Qingxi? I coldly stared at Mysterious Emperor. Boundary Heaven was one of Qingxi Immortal Emperor's unique skills, something she would never teach to anyone lightly. Yet, Mysterious Emperor executed it so skillfully. And why did he choose Imperial Pass as the battlefield? Mysterious Emperor smiled faintly and did not answer my question. Instead, he sighed to himself, some things I thought would be buried in my heart forever, never to find someone to tell. More accurately, the pain in my heart. But fortunately, White Emperor, you are back. Before you fall, I want you to experience all this pain. Mysterious Emperor paused, then suddenly stared at me intensely. White Emperor, do you know what it feels like to personally plan the death of the person you love the most? I don't understand. You've been gone for over 10,000 years. Why was she still so obsessed with you? If it weren't for you, Qingxi would never have died, and the human race wouldn't be in its current state. Hearing this, my face suddenly changed. This Mysterious Emperor was the one behind it all, the one who caused Qingxi's death. So it was you, I said, my aura surging. Mysterious Emperor remained extremely calm. Your appearance surprised me. I originally planned to deal with you later, but who knew that guy Tuan would leave such a clue, making you discover the existence of the god-demon hybrids? So I had to eliminate you sooner. You like Qingxi so much, why did you plan to kill her? I suppressed the anger in my heart, wanting to know what really happened back then. For Qingxi, I could give up my life. But in her heart, there was only you, who no longer existed. As he spoke, Mysterious Emperor's emotions finally changed, becoming furious. I may not be as brilliant and peerless as you, but I was also the most talented genius the human race had seen in 10,000 years. Back then, I was only half a step away from becoming an immortal emperor. If Qingxi had agreed to become my Dao companion and duel cultivate with me, our human race would have had 2 immortal emperors. But she refused. She even expelled me from the sect. She broke my heart, so I wanted revenge. Since she was so obsessed with you, I decided to fulfill her wish. I do regret planning Qingxi's death, but I never thought I did anything wrong. White Emperor, all these tragedies happened because of you. Back then, I plotted to kill Qingxi to monopolize the human race's destiny and become the orthodox immortal emperor. Now, I'm plotting to kill you, to use your innate Dao fortune to achieve transcendence. Both of you can die with a sense of purpose. After speaking, Mysterious Emperor exhaled deeply, a relieved expression on his face. These words had been bottled up inside him for too long. Barbarian Emperor was dumbfounded after hearing Mysterious Emperor's confession. Qingxi Immortal Emperor was killed by this guy Mysterious Emperor? This guy was a 1,000-year-old demon in disguise? Hidden so deeply, Barbarian Emperor felt a sense of relief for surviving this long with Mysterious Emperor. He had no idea how he had managed to stay alive all these years working with Mysterious Emperor. You traitor, you were Qingxi's disciple. My inner hatred and anger were now completely ignited. This traitor, Mysterious Emperor, I would definitely trap him in the Immortal Emperor's burial soul banner today, making him taste the feeling of being neither able to live nor die. As for you wanting to kill me? Heh, just the 2 of you? I looked at them with disdain. A mid-stage Immortal Emperor and a late-stage Perfect Immortal Emperor were indeed strong. But they had no idea how terrifying I, the first person in history to become an emperor, truly was. Besides, if I weren't confident in dealing with these 2, I wouldn't have come to this banquet. You're right. Even if Barbarian Emperor and I join forces, we may not be your match. Mysterious Emperor smiled coldly. But do you know what this emperor's main cultivation is? Hearing this, my face turned solemn. A sense of conspiracy and danger exploded within me. Mysterious Emperor knew their combined strength couldn't match mine, yet he dared to lure me into Boundary Heaven. Could it be that Mysterious Emperor had a surefire way to kill me? In terms of strategic planning, White Emperor, you might be a few steps behind Mysterious Emperor, Barbarian Emperor interrupted. Barbarian Emperor felt if he didn't say something soon, he would fade into the background. Every cultivator, after advancing to the Immortal King realm, chooses a path to condense their Dao fruit when they become an Immortal Emperor. White Emperor is the first orthodox Immortal Emperor. His Dao is all-encompassing. It can be said to have no specific path, yet it is everywhere. Mysterious Emperor, on the other hand, specializes in strategic planning. Mysterious Emperor would never act without absolute confidence. Seeing my expression grow serious, Mysterious Emperor's face showed a hint of satisfaction. White Emperor, no matter how peerless you are, in my eyes, you are just a pawn on the chessboard. Today, you will fall here. Mysterious Emperor, your trump card is the god-demon hybrids from another realm? I asked with a smile. Yes, but it's too late for you to realize that now. Mysterious Emperor continued, gritting his teeth. White Emperor, to die in a formation created by Qingxi, what will the world think? I laughed and asked, your chess path was also taught by Qingxi, wasn't it? Mysterious Emperor's brow furrowed slightly, so what if it was? She merely guided me. My chess path has long surpassed hers. I then said, did Qingxi ever tell you that if the chess player falls too deeply into the game, they too will become a piece on the board? Mysterious Emperor was taken aback. Just then, a deep roar echoed from the sky of this world. Mysterious Emperor, my time is limited. If you don't make a move soon, both of you will face your demise. Mysterious Emperor collected his thoughts, it was time to end this game. White Emperor, let's conclude this. With that, Mysterious Emperor raised his hand towards the sky, and a bloody fissure appeared. This fissure connected not to the northern sovereign immortal domain but to another world. Soon, a pair of gigantic claws emerged from it. The scent of this immortal domain is truly captivating, a voice echoed. The bloody fissure was torn apart by those enormous claws, and a god-demon hybrid from another realm flew out. This god-demon hybrid resembled a tiger, with a massive body like a buffalo and wings. Qingxi? A look of surprise flashed across my face. I didn't expect this god-demon hybrid to be related to the mythical beasts from the classic of mountains and seas. I had read about Qingxi in an ancient text. In the northwest, there is a beast that looks like a tiger, has wings, and can fly. It is called Qingxi. However, the Qingxi before me was many times larger than described. Qingxi sighed with a mix of fascination and fixated its scorching gaze on me. I've heard from Mysterious Emperor that you are the most talented and brilliant cultivator in the history of this immortal domain. Your flesh and soul must be delicious, it said, licking its lips greedily. At the same time, Barbarian Emperor and Mysterious Emperor surrounded me from different directions. Qingxi, you are merely a perfect immortal emperor. Do you think your divine power is enough to suppress me? I said calmly, a relaxed expression appearing on my face. I had expected Mysterious Emperor to bring at least 2 peak immortal emperors with innate divine powers, but it turned out to be just this creature. You know my identity? Qingxi's expression darkened slightly. Even Mysterious Emperor and Barbarian Emperor didn't know its true identity, so how could this human cultivator? I didn't answer Qingxi but looked at Mysterious Emperor. If this is your trump card, prepare to be utterly destroyed. With that, a massive Dharma image appeared behind me, its terrifying pressure instantly enveloping the entire boundary heaven. This formation might be flawless for others, but not for me. I hadn't told Mysterious Emperor that Qingxi Immortal Emperor was able to create boundary heaven because of my guidance. Qingxi Immortal Emperor originally wanted to create this formation to record the places we had visited together. Using something I had taught to fight me was simply courting death. White Emperor, you're at death's door and still dare to boast. You haven't transcended, so today I'll see how you defeat the 3 of us. Mysterious Emperor snorted coldly, pinching a chess piece between his fingers and dropping it, execute the traitor at Imperial Pass, instantly covering the entire battlefield with a giant chessboard. My Dharma image ignored the tens of thousands of divine thunders falling from the sky, taking a step forward, shattering the chessboard beneath my feet. White Emperor's Dharma image alone is so terrifying, Qingxi's pupils contracted slightly. This human cultivator wasn't at the peak of Immortal Emperor, he was half a step into transcendence. Don't give him a chance to defeat us one by one. With that, Qingxi lunged at my Dharma image, Myriad Demon's reincarnation. Barbarian Emperor attacked from the right, wielding an ancient bronze mirror that shone upon me. The reincarnation demon mirror, a treasured artifact of the demon race, contained the power of reincarnation. I raised my hand and waved to the right, instantly manifesting a golden barrier, but it couldn't block the power of reincarnation. Enveloped by this power, I aged rapidly, and my spiritual energy was depleted. However, my powerful essence quickly suppressed the reincarnation power. Although the reincarnation demon mirror only controlled me for less than 2 seconds. Mysterious Emperor used the stars as his chessboard this time. Serious, Mysterious Emperor dropped a star, and it crashed towards my Dharma image. The world trembled. I pressed my hands to the ground, about to counterattack, but my body suddenly stiffened. This was Barbarian Emperor's innate ability developed after birth. Soul severed and heartbroken, I lightly pressed my palm down. This seemingly casual move was terrifyingly powerful, known only to Qingxi. In that instant, it even smelled the scent of death. With a loud boom, Qingxi shot downwards like a cannonball, creating a deep, bottomless black hole in the ground. Qingxi's life or death was unknown. What? How is this possible? Barbarian Emperor was shocked. Hadn't I just been controlled by him? How did I suddenly appear behind Qingxi? Moreover, hadn't Qingxi just used its innate divine power to temporarily reach the peak of Immortal Emperor? Why didn't it have any chance to resist against White Emperor? So this is your so-called plan? I sneered, looking at the grim-faced Mysterious Emperor. Although we were both immortal emperors, I controlled the entire northern sovereign immortal domain's destiny, including that of the demon and devil races. Without transcending, no one in this world could be my match. What should we do now, mysterious brother? Barbarian Emperor looked at Mysterious Emperor, feeling panicked. This hunting plan was supposed to be foolproof. Mysterious Emperor had assured Barbarian Emperor that he had invited a top-tier strongman from outside the realm and guaranteed that the three of them could kill White Emperor. But now, this top-tier strongman from outside the realm couldn't even withstand a single round against White Emperor. Don't panic. The battle has just begun. Mysterious Emperor's calm demeanor returned, once again showing his usual confidence. A peak Immortal Emperor couldn't last one move against White Emperor, and you tell me not to panic? Barbarian Emperor was filled with questions, but he had no choice but to follow Mysterious Emperor to the end. At this point, there was no turning back. Mysterious Emperor suddenly transmitted to Barbarian Emperor, saying he would distract me while Barbarian Emperor rescued Qingxi. Barbarian Emperor hesitated. Could Qingxi still fight after being rescued? Could Mysterious Emperor really hold off White Emperor? Barbarian Emperor wondered. But Mysterious Emperor assured him that Qingxi, with his ancient beast bloodline, had two divine powers. Rescuing Qingxi would give them another chance to kill White Emperor. Another innate divine power? Barbarian Emperor realized the plan and nodded. Instantly, they began their strategy. White Emperor, look at this. Mysterious Emperor approached me and took out a white jade pendant. A fragment of Qingxi's soul. My expression changed dramatically. Yes, this jade pendant indeed contains a fragment of my master's soul. This jade pendant was a protective talisman given to me by my master, containing a fragment of her divine sense. After my master fell, I used a secret method to preserve it, turning it into a fragment of her soul. I know you are desperate to revive your master. The more fragments, the better your chances. So, Mysterious Emperor waved his hand, and the pendant flew 500 miles away. I glanced at the hiding Barbarian Emperor. I knew Mysterious Emperor used Qingxi's soul fragment to distract me and buy time for Barbarian Emperor. But even if it's a trap, I have no choice but to jump into it. The Mysterious Emperor said something right. With one more soul fragment, the hope of Qingxi's resurrection increases. A conspiracy, huh? My eyes turned cold as I chased after the Mysterious Emperor. I wanted to see if he could hold out until his plan succeeded. As long as I kill the Mysterious Emperor, the heavily injured Qingxi and the Barbarian Emperor won't be able to cause any trouble. White Emperor, if you don't chase me, I'll destroy Qingxi's soul fragment. The Mysterious Emperor's taunt came from ahead. After all, he had set up this boundary heaven formation and naturally had all sorts of advantages within it. Hearing the Mysterious Emperor's taunt, I suddenly stopped, extended my right hand, palm up, and summoned the immortal soil. With the immortal soil appearing, this world was enveloped by it. Although the Mysterious Emperor had fled several thousand miles away, he was still within the range of the immortal soil. You can't escape, I said, looking down at the Mysterious Emperor in my palm. Such an immortal soil, the Mysterious Emperor said with a faint smile, showing no fear of death. I always heard that the White Emperor's skills and divine powers were unrivaled, and now I see it for myself. I'm indeed not your match. Enough talk. Hand over Qingxi's jade pendant. I tightened my grip, causing the immortal soil to tremble. Under the immense pressure, the Mysterious Emperor's face contorted with pain. Jade pendant? Heh, White Emperor, do you know what I love most in life? Seeing me remain silent, the Mysterious Emperor continued, destroying what others care about the most. Only things that are cared about have value. White Emperor, I know you want to revive Qingxi. So I'll never let you succeed. No matter how powerful you are, you won't see the person who loves you the most. The Mysterious Emperor's lips curled into a sinister smile, and he crushed the jade pendant containing Qingxi's soul fragment into powder before my eyes. My entire body trembled with rage, filling the immortal soil with an overwhelming killing intent. I had never felt such anger and hatred towards anyone. Stepping into the immortal soil, I summoned the White Abyss, its sword aura slashing across 80,000 miles, ignoring all of the Mysterious Emperor's defenses and splitting his body in two. The Mysterious Emperor howled in agony. The two halves of his body tried to fuse back together, but the sword aura constantly eroded his vitality. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't regenerate his body. Splitting an immortal emperor's body with one strike, perhaps only I could do that. Everyone said that Qingxi Immortal Emperor's swordsmanship was unparalleled, but they didn't know that her prowess was due to my guidance. I walked to the bisected Mysterious Emperor, kicked one half of his body several hundred meters away, and asked, "You sacrificed your life just to stall me?" I knew the Mysterious Emperor's intentions were to buy time for Qingxi and the Barbarian Emperor to prepare a killing move. But I couldn't understand why a cunning person like the Mysterious Emperor would willingly sacrifice his life. What was he really planning? The Mysterious Emperor sneered, "White Emperor, the winds of change on the chessboard can shift in an instant. Until the last piece falls, no one knows who the true winner is, right?" I had no desire to listen to his nonsense any longer. Summoning the Immortal Emperor's soul-burying banner, I said, "Since you love making plans so much, go make them in there." The Immortal Emperor's soul-burying banner refined everything within, filled with all the world's suffering. I wanted the Mysterious Emperor to experience eternal torment within it. The Immortal Emperor's soul-burying banner, the mysterious Emperor's face turned pale with fear. But soon, he seemed to sense something, and his expression became ecstatic. It's happening. Finally, it's happening. Ha ha ha, it's happening. I frowned, then heard a heart-wrenching scream from behind. The scream came from the black hole created by Qingxi. Mysterious Emperor, you treacherous dog. I treated you well, and you plotted against me. I'll kill you and tear you to pieces. The scream abruptly ended. The barbarian emperor was dead? I looked at the mysterious emperor in disbelief. The barbarian emperor was just another pawn in his hands. The half of the mysterious emperor's body on the ground smirked, and then white light burst from within, penetrating his body. The mysterious emperor was going to self-destruct. Seeing this, I immediately retreated. I didn't know how terrifying an immortal emperor's self-destruction would be, but fortunately, I was within the immortal soil. With a thought, I retreated as far as possible. The mysterious emperor's self-destruction released a massive white light, covering millions of miles of the immortal soil, causing it to tremble violently and nearly collapse. An immortal emperor represented the highest power in this immortal domain. To prevent the immortal soil from collapsing, I had to lift its coverage. As I thought the mysterious emperor's self-destruction would destroy the boundary heaven, the energy turned into a blood mist, dyeing the sky red. At that moment, an enraged roar came from my right. Qingxi, fully healed, flew out of the black hole. The pressure it emitted had truly reached the peak of the immortal emperor. Earlier, Qingxi had used its innate divine power to briefly reach the peak of the immortal emperor. That briefly obtained realm didn't belong to it. But now, Qingxi had genuinely stepped into the peak of the immortal emperor. You devoured the barbarian emperor? I felt a trace of danger from Qingxi. Qingxi sneered, White Emperor, you only know that our kind has innate divine powers, but you don't know that some powerful gods and demons have two innate divine powers. I possess the bloodline of ancient gods and demons and have the most potent innate divine power, Devour All, which directly converts what I consume into my cultivation. The mysterious emperor knew that you carried the destiny of this immortal domain, so even if he reached the peak of the immortal emperor, he might not be your match. But I am different. I don't rely on the destiny of this immortal domain. Once I devour the barbarian emperor and truly reach the peak of the immortal emperor, your death is certain. Hearing Qingxi's words, a serious expression appeared on my face. But it wasn't Qingxi's strength that I feared. I was still pondering the mysterious emperor's plan. Was it really just for revenge against me and Qingxi? Even if Qingxi reached the peak of the immortal emperor, was the mysterious emperor certain Qingxi could kill me? That was uncertain. For a strategist like the mysterious emperor, he wouldn't gamble his life on a mere possibility. And as a skilled strategist, he would never place his hope on someone else. Was the mysterious emperor really dead? White Emperor, I'm talking to you, and you dare to ignore me? Qingxi's body trembled with rage. The White Emperor was unbelievably arrogant. Even at the peak of the immortal emperor, he had the leisure to ponder? It was as if he didn't regard Qingxi at all.